to the show.
Don't start. We haven't left yet.
Oh, that's us.
Oh my goodness, we were
Oh my gosh, that
ready
was
for a
good.
new intro, weren't we?
So ready.
Oh,
Beyond ready.
yeah, and
I got the
finally,
rocker chick here going today.
I think we eliminated the puppet threat once and for all.
Oh my gosh, do it again.
Oh, you guys don't want to see it again, do you?
I do.
Do you?
I do.
All right, just in case you were late.
Oh my gosh,
All
we
right,
have to play it.
one more time. Oh, this is it. One more time.
No.
One more time.
No.
Welcome to the show.
Don't start. We haven't left yet.
All right, that was, believe it or not, like 2 hours worth of work.
Works hard. Whew, looking fine.
Hey, you know what? It is it's May 29th. This is Memorial Day
my
weekend.
gosh.
We officially
Yes.
celebrate Memorial Day tomorrow.
Yes.
So we want to remember all of our veterans and people who have sacrificed for the freedoms that we barely still hold on to in this country right now. And
that was edgy for you.
I know. And but anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome to the No Puppet Zone. We shall see if that holds up.
Let's see.
But first things first, shall let's find out who's here.
Yes.
Now, Leg Kick is here because Leg Kick is almost always here, but
Hey,
he
Leg
wasn't the
Kick.
first one in the house.
No.
Actually, Stippling Vaughn was.
I think. Yeah.
And they
he
took
was
it
on
down.
last night.
And Daniel Russell was on
Yes.
before them as well. But you get absolutely nothing, of course, for
But-
being first. But we do appreciate you
Yeah,
coming.
absolutely.
We need your support, and support can
we
be
need
beautiful.
a filter. I need a filter today.
A filter.
Just filter.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
it
a lot of
can't-
effort went into today.
It can't,
oh my gosh.
well, maybe a little bit more
Well-
light on the subject would help out.
Oh yeah, let's
That perfect.
way better.
We'll get the puppet in.
Kind of hurt my
We'll get the-
back
the puppet
yesterday,
in
and I
front of
was
your
just
face.
bleh, cluster.
Okay.
Anyway, what's going on?
Stippling Vaughn is actually here, and he said, "Hold the phone. I think their daughter is home. Could this mean a
She
multiple
is.
puppet appearance attack in Aaron Live? Probably not. I just
I
blew up
tried.
the puppets.
I tried. She's like, I am not going to be
multiple
on there.
puppet. Oh, that's you.
Yeah,
You don't need to
I
put you on
tried. I
the
did.
road.
Yeah, but once we
Thi-
get her to appear, then she'll be like me.
This will
like,
be
sure.
this will be an amazing show. We have Shelly, puppets, and Aaron Smackdown by Brohawk. You better be careful because you're the one who may get smacked down.
Ooh, first cannonball
So,
of the day.
I'm not,
Did you warm up properly?
I'm not. I think I hurt my shoulder, but
You might have.
we'll stretch it out.
Mhm.
Josh can't wait. He says, "Let's see some drawing." We'll get there soon
Mhm.
enough. Leg Kick course is still here. Jefferson Roswell, greetings. Thank you.
Mhm.
Killer Squid says, "Going to be tough to top last week's show. Educational, entertaining, and
Aw.
positive. Better bring the A game today." I think
The Aaron game today. Sorry. Cringy. Oh no. Not the neck.
Jeez.
Oh no.
Bill Maxwell is here. I received my Wraith. Ooh, he received his Wraith
Swaggage.
t-shirt. Shelly, you know
Oh.
what? I received my Wraith t-shirt right there. Look at that.
Oh, like it a lot.
Wraith of God. Very high
doesn't-
quality. It's a nice
yeah.
50-50 blend.
Doesn't. Oh, it is softy.
Oh, it's very soft and stretchy.
You know what? He hasn't given me one. I'm just saying.
Actually, they're
They're right
right,
down here.
over there. I just
They're right down here.
No, those are ones going to Europe. Those ones haven't been mailed out
Oh,
yet.
those are special ones.
Yeah,
Okay.
those are the ones that those are the rest of the orders to be fulfilled. And I will say this
Yeah.
right now: we've only got 3 more shirts to ship out to Europe, and all of them are shipped. So how's that for customer service?
I know that was, and we had printer issues.
Good evening, Lepresties and Chat. Thank
Christopher,
you.
good evening.
Citizen
evening.
Ronan is here. Geek Avenger is here.
Yeah.
Citizen
Loving
Ronan is still here. Geek Avenger is still here.
Geek Avenger. He's
Uh,
chatty today.
he is.
Chatty in the chat.
Kevin Thomas is.
See what I
Yeah,
did?
yeah, that's
I know.
hilarious. Here, let me help get that out of your system before you get hurt. Yeah, hopefully that'll
Oy.
clean that right up.
Something needs to.
Tarks 9 is here.
Turks.
Jimmy Owens is
Jimmy!
happy to see puppets.
Yep.
Daniel
It's
Russell,
right over
time for
there.
Little Presty Puppet Hour. The Little
You can kinda
Presty Puppet
You
Hour.
can
He's
see
really
the
stretching it.
puppets in the background.
Are they kind of laying over on their side there?
Yep. Taking a nappy.
Neon Todd Studios is here. Past Master Dan is here. Hit the like. It really
Yay.
irritates old man Lopresti. You know-
Smash it.
You know, that also really irritates me. So let's stop doing that right now.
Old man
Yeah, I
Lopresti,
don't
that
like
part.
that. I don't like that.
Me no likey.
No. Does it remind anyone of Sid and Marty Croft? Well, a little bit.
Wait.
Sid and Marty Croft, like HR Puff and stuff. and
Yes,
all
I was
that
going to
stuff.
say, like,
Yeah.
we remind them.
No, the show, because we have the puppet.
Oh,
intro
because I was going to
probably.
be like,
Yeah.
what is that? Oh, was I like Henrietta Hippo?
See, you're always taking it that extra mile and thinking that, you know, you're reading way between the lines.
Well-
What did Jack Black say in School of Rock? Read between the lines. Read between the lines.
Okay.
See,
Well, that's it for today, guys. Creepy puppets.
no, that's what we're here for.
Yep.
Is to really creep.
Yo. Good.
Louis Breyer. Maybe my shirt has been shipped, and that's what I got an email about that I couldn't tell who sent it. Yeah, that's probably
Oh.
me.
Perhaps.
Because it would have come via Cold Crocodile Press, not Empire Comics, because
Ooh.
that's the parent company. Is Cold Crocodile Press.
Yeah.
In fact, it
'Cause,
even
you know,
says
we're
so
so
right
big.
here on the label. That's right. Empire Comics is actually a subsidiary of Cold Crocodile Press.
Our
So how about
corporate
that?
headquarters says,
Yes.
what you got there?
It says Aaron's got a Wraith of God shot glass with a shot in it. Let's start the show off right. Oh, that burn's gone down, but
That's some harsh Snapple going over there.
it's that extra peach in it that gives it that kick.
the Snapple kick. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Do I prefer to work traditionally or digitally? I only
Traditional.
work traditionally. I do color in Photoshop unless I'm painting, but most of the time 99% of the time I'm coloring in Photoshop, but that's the only digital I do. This show has now replaced Captain Kangaroo.
Teflon Ron. I love that.
Oh my goodness. Randy Howell sending us $5
Randy.
Canadian. The puppet just DM'd me. Rumors of my demise are greatly exaggerated. He's not dead. He'll be sneaking back around. You can count on that.
Wow.
Shelley has her way. But thank you for the $5
Which I-
Canadian, Randy. Appreciate it.
I typically do get my way
Yeah, you do.
most of the time.
She does. Sunday's most lovingly violent show. Well, you know what? That's a great way to describe your
Uh-huh.
show.
I think we need
Oh.
to make a
Oh,
tagline.
look
Hi,
who's here.
Peyton.
It's Peyton.
Yay.
Hey, Peyton.
All my favorite people
I'm
are
sure.
here.
I'm sure I owed him that for something. So
I'm sure. Or just credit for the future.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Ghostly is full to the brim. That would be my shot glass. Apple cider vinegar. I've done that before.
Oof.
That's harsh, but it's supposed to be good for you.
You know, it's better for you.
Marcus Killer
Fireball.
goes, see, he knows that Snapple is
So
strong.
strong.
Stuff. It is.
The
Especially if you have,
Snapple is strong with this one.
yes, if you if you have a shot of Snapple before bedtime, you're gonna
Shot
be up.
Snapple?
You're gonna be up all night.
A shot
Not a
of Snapple?
Snapple. That's just like saying sequential treasures. So, oh my good.
Man, how many hours have you been up?
Stop acting,
Oh.
like Presty. That was a cranberry juice. Yeah, I know. It wasn't even
Yeah,
Snapple.
it wasn't
was
even good
cranberry.
acting either.
Oh, I'm a former award-winning performance artist. I mean, are you kidding me? I make Squidward.
Performance
I look like
artist.
I make Squidward look like
You make him look good.
No, actually
Oh.
I don't. That's what I was trying to. go
Oh,
the
that's
other
what you're
way.
trying to say. Oh my gosh. Whew. Ah.
No, the email is just said it came from Oregon. No company name. I have
Oh.
recognized cold crocodile. I don't know what to tell you, but you should be getting it shortly because I just mailed all those suckers out on I think Thursday was.
I have no idea. I don't even know what day it is.
It was either
today.
Wednesday or Thursday of last week. I sent all the shirts out, and then there was a couple Europeans on Thursday, and then a couple more Europeans on Friday. Then I will do the rest of them on
Gotta,
Monday, Tuesday.
taper that.
Just telling you. Dang, Aaron's on a rampage, blowing up puppets and the chat. I know.
Yep.
See, I'm.
He's angry.
I shouldn't have.
He's an angry Aaron.
I shouldn't have taken that shot. Probably was not the best idea because now
Pete.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
yeah, I mean that's what
Okay.
happens. I start drinking and I get angry.
Angry Aaron. Yes.
Okay. Geek Avengers throwing money our way, and we'll
Oh,
take
yeah.
it. Thank you so much for the $5. There's going to be a contest of drawing puppets on Uranus.
Not today. Well, it depends
No.
how many shots of Snapple
I'm
he takes.
sorry.
Maybe.
We need to clarify.
Oh no.
So Teflon Ron says, I wonder what happened to that guy who caught the cannonball to the stomach.
Right.
I'm guessing at this point in time, he's probably no longer with us, but I think he survived it. I mean, that was a regular shtick thing he did.
Oh man.
What is Sheldon Marcy? You're taking shots from Sheldon. What's one more? What's one more sniff? Dum.
Oh, his dainty ears. It's so sad.
My dainty ears.
You clicked on it.
Oh. What?
Well, too much Snapple. Oh, get another one. Watch out, everybody. He'll be up all night.
I'm
Seriously.
and I would like to let everybody know that these Wraith of God shot glasses, we still have some available.
Just a few.
And also Wraith of God beanies are also still available.
Well, maybe I'll have to wear the beanie. I've got my frizzy rocker chick hair going.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But he shot himself. Wow. Jimmy.
Jimmy.
And here, let me send this out to you.
Booyah.
Yeah, that's what you get when you talk dirty on our show. Lisa Lynn from Florida says, hey, just
Hi.
stopping to say quick hello. Hi, you two. Hi. She's on her
Hi.
way, of course, to White Castle to pick up
They're your
steamed
favorite.
burgers for her family to
Your
enjoy. So that's
favorite.
what she's out doing. But thank you for stopping in,
Aw.
Lisa. Appreciate that.
Yes.
He said shat to be clean. Well, that's not how I see it. You know, Jimmy, I don't know. When I was a kid, my mom used to wash my mouth out with soap.
She did.
She did. So, but this is all I can do for Jimmy today. I don't know. Maybe that'll get the
that's gonna leave a
that
mark.
bad language out of his mouth.
Yeah.
There you go.
Doo-doo.
Uncle Walt shows up at random times on
Oh, you gotta love that.
streams, but
Yeah.
it's always exciting when he does. So you never
Yeah.
know. You never know.
My dainty bottom. What?
I don't. Is Dale resurfaced since that?
I don't know. I know there's
I'm
about to put out a milk carton.
I was going to message him and see if he's okay because we haven't seen him since that meltdown he had. A little bit
I
too
didn't
much.
see. I don't want to see it.
It's
I'm
really
so sad.
funny, but
I've seen screenshots, but I don't want to see it.
look at you. You know that would be very proper programming last night. Yeah, like you'd be lucky enough to get either one of us to draw one character, let alone two. But thank you for the suggestion there, sequential. Luckily, Aaron didn't go blind from soap poisoning. only happened once. I would hate Aaron to be my chiropractor.
with the cannonballs and stuff,
Mhm.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I should explain it to you. I'll draw it a picture, but
It's
yeah.
true. Dale is a rock star and he can't be helped. That's just the way, he
It's kind of-
lives on the
yeah.
edge.
You all right there?
Daniel Russell sent us something that I want to show before I
Oh.
forget.
Bring it.
Well, I couldn't. What the heck happened to it?
Oh,
All these videos that I prepped for today.
Yeah.
Shelley,
what?
Here it is.
You're a mess. Okay. Ooh, what is
Don't
it?
look. I want you to experience this
Okay, just
with
like everybody
everybody
else.
firsthand. All right, go ahead and take a look. Daniel Russell sent us this. You can get the Fudge Uranus Factory, apparently.
Wow.
There you go. I don't know where that's at.
That is Uranus, Missouri.
Uranus, Missouri.
No way.
Is that what you just said?
Well, that's what it says on the thing.
It can't be. There cannot be a
No.
Uranus, Missouri.
Yep.
Is there?
They have their own website.
There is, ladies and gentlemen.
On Route 66.
On Route
Welcome to Uranus. Driving through Uranus. Planning a trip, shopping online.
So we have to play that every time we drive through.
Find it.
Missouri.
Explore it.
Explore Uranus. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Unicorn Creamery.
Okay, I don't want to hear anymore. I'm getting ill. I'm going to have to take another shot.
Fudge Factory. What's happening in Uranus? Check out the blog.
Oh, hey, Mark Kessler's back. Good afternoon. Sorry, I've been absent for a
no.
bit, but kids have had stuff going on during the streets.
Oh,
I
yeah.
understand how it is.
Kids.
Our kids are older and they still have stuff going on.
Booyah.
Is that fudge served with a shovel?
I don't know. Let me check out the blog. Attraction.
Oh
my gosh. Escape
Well, there you go.
Uranus.
So,
Uranus
Aaron, will you
Sideshow
soon be
Museum.
taking Shelley on a trip to Uranus? Probably not
Hope
going to do
not.
that.
Oh my gosh, that is too funny.
I almost feel like sort of we need to
Could we go there and like write it off?
we need to clean the palette a little
Look,
bit, Shelley.
It's
We need to clean the palette.
okay.
Oh, son of a gun. You thought I was going to say son of a bitch, didn't you?
So cleansing.
Yeah, I feel better. I
Do
feel
you?
better about it. But you know what, Shelley?
What,
think-
Aaron?
I think eating something might improve all of our dispositions.
Maybe.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And he left to go get crack.
Huh.
Oh, I was wondering what those were.
Yeah.
I thought you were hiding them from me.
Now we're just going to go simple. Even though my daughter made chocolate chip cookies, they're actually really quite
No,
good.
They were good. I ate way too many this
I know,
morning.
so that's why I'm
And
not
I
having
realized
any
right before
now.
the show,
Gummy bears
all I'd eaten today was chocolate chip cookies.
and gummy bears now. So
Well, and that's why I had some
Mm, mm.
yogurt with blueberries because I
Okay,
thought,
you
well, I'll
felt like that-
pretend that I'm all healthy.
Mm.
So, oh yeah.
I just got back from Uranus, and boy, my arm's tired. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, where are you from? Uranus.
Hey, are you new here?
Oh my goodness. Jay laughs at his own jokes. Look, where are you from? Uranus.
Very interactive though.
Yeah, it is. I
I
like,
like
that.
it.
Earned the rank of Battle Lord. That's what it was. John Carter, Battle Lord of Uranus. That was by Shelley Lopresti. That's what it was yesterday. According to Stat Zero. Not me.
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness. Cindy Russell says, here's $10, Aaron.
Hey, Cindy,
Thank you.
thank you, but did you mean to say something? But thank
We'll
you.
wait.
Mhm.
Thank you, Cindy, though. I appreciate the
Give me a call
$10. It was
later.
very nice.
Mhm.
Um, is there life on Uranus?
There is. You better get that checked out.
Two of the four major food groups.
Of what? Oh yes.
Cookies and gummy bears. That'd be two of the four
Oh my
major.
gosh.
It's warm up here tonight, isn't it?
He's asking me if it's warm up here. I did
Okay.
turn the fan off because I was chilly, but
No.
not anymore. Fan is on.
Hey, Danger Vanessa is right with us. Chocolate chip cookie diet is the best diet, and I agree. I think that's.
Oh my gosh. Well, and our daughter, she didn't think they were very good. But I said, she goes, and it's embarrassing because she works at Crumble Cookie.
Yeah, oh my
so
gosh,
that girl should be able to make cookies. Oh,
Just gets
Lord.
worse and worse.
I know.
Mark Kessler says, man, I missed a few shows and now there's fudge from Uranus and crack. What's going on here?
Well, we've changed our branding just a little bit. No.
Randy's trying to clear up the silence
No.
from Cindy Russell. Is it Cindy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Cindy.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
But Cindy, you got proper recognition.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much.
What else got?
I don't know. What is this? Jay says, I tend to have a horrible habit of laughing at my own jokes. So does she.
I entertain myself better than anybody. Yeah.
When my doctor asked why I've gained weight, I blame a little Presty snack streams. And well, you should.
Yep. We'll take it.
If we can offer anything to society, that would probably be just about it, right? Is weight gain.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
We
this.
demo every day.
Oh, well, you think that's funny? It's for you, Shelley. And this, of course, is friend Andy.
Oh, that's funny.
Show a little bit of respect around here. I work hard for it. Jeff Goulet is here. Jeff Goulet. He says, good evening, little Presties. No way Aaron is filled with knowledge. Wait a minute. No way Aaron should there be a comment like, no way Aaron is filled with knowledge? Isn't that really think what he's saying there? Or do you think he's saying no way Aaron is filled with knowledge? Do you think that's what he's saying? What do you think he's saying, Shelley?
It's
Because
like the Martian movie.
it depends on what's about to happen to Jimmy
kidding
next.
me?
What do you think? You make the decision. How is that meant? No way, Aaron. He didn't put a comment there, so I can only assume that he's insulting me.
Let's go with that.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to put my laptop back. It's still stuck in Uranus. I laugh at my own jokes. I don't need an audience.
It's hilarious. You don't
I
really.
crack myself up.
So actually, let's just turn the show off. We don't, who needs you guys? We'll just go and we'll just laugh our heads off for. Let's get our puppets out. No, we won't because we've destroyed the puppets. There's no more puppets. You need to come this way a little bit. I feel like I'm pushing you off the.
You are.
I know because you're too popular.
Right. Marcus.
Cindy Russell says Aaron has more knowledge on comics I did not know. Cindy, that's what I'm here for. It's
full of
worthless knowledge.
Yes.
Come to me and I will answer your worthless questions.
Not
that all your questions are worthless, but just give me the worthless ones and I can. We're here?
Yeah.
Marcus Gilder, I lost 15 pounds. Wow, good job.
Good job.
Not eating cookies though, I'm guessing.
No, I lost 10. But I'm sure I'll find it again.
Yeah, that's the way we do. We lose it. Oh, then I found it. Yeah. Hi, folks. Just got home and saw Brohawk versus Aaron matchup. Was waiting, psyched to see it.
So psyched.
So am I. Glad to get him back on here and get some action. And speaking of getting some action, Shelley, it's time to take a look at the rights and image
of the day.
He's counting out the credits. He's counting out the space credits. Okay, the reason I put that up there is because that, in my opinion, and it's an educated opinion, and I will not back down for this because I know a lot of people are going to be offended when I say this, but it is true. That is the last great, not good, great piece of artwork that Wrightson did was that Captain Stern story for the 1980 June issue of Heavy Metal.
Gotcha.
If you don't have it, get it. It has a creepy Geiger, the guy who designed the Alien from the movies. It has a creepy Geiger cover on it. But it has that story, and it's like it's an 8 or 10 page story, penciled inked, and I believe he hand colored it. If he didn't, Michelle Wrightson did, who I believe was his first wife, but don't quote me on that. And but I think Wrightson actually colored it himself with watercolors. It's a great story. It's a great collected piece of artwork, 10 pages. And in not only my opinion, but those who know would agree with me that was the last great
those in the know
Wrightson piece. So if you haven't seen that story, in fact, that they had the original pages from that up at auction at San Diego a couple of years ago. And if
Did you
only
get
I'd had about 15 grand more,
Oh,
I probably
dang.
could have got it.
Dang.
But I was a little
Oh, you're getting behind.
little shy.
Get
A little shy on the
mine, little
cash. A little
British
shy on the cash. There you go. Love Stern, so goofy. Captain Stern, of course, is from you know where.
You know where.
Captain Stern was in a heavy metal movie as well. Yes, he was. That's what they based the movie on, was that story, or that segment from the movie was on that story. Dan Lawless knows that was outstanding. It truly was.
Dan?
Cindy says, my oldest son and daughter-in-law love DC Comics. I know there's more to comics. Yes, and much more, like Wraith of God or Kit Carter, who's no, that's Wonder Woman over there. Or at least my nouveau take on her.
Yes.
Hey, there you go. There's a quote from Captain Stern. I've got an angle. That's exactly right. Yes.
I've said that before. I was teaching geometry at the time, but are we really 11 backers from 2,500?
Yeah.
Do you remember when we were like, wouldn't that be fun if we got to 1883?
That's my response to that. Yeah.
Remember that?
We were like, yeah, if we just get to 1883,
oh my gosh, that'd be
great.
amazing.
Now we're almost at 2,500. It's amazing. It is.
Crazy.
Yeah, you know what? That reminds me right here. Danger Vanessa's out there shilling for us. And we appreciate it on our own show.
Girl.
And that reminds me, we need to do our public service announcement. Yeah. So there it is. Like and subscribe. We want to get this channel to 2,000 just to say we did. Right?
Ooh, yeah.
I think so. We're almost 1,800. So we're still like 200 subscribers away. But we know you guys can help us get there. Because if you don't do it, no one else is going to. So we're really hopeful that maybe you will
be nice,
be kind and help us out.
Yeah.
Well, Shelley, let's
what?
Let's so I thought I said no more puppets, but anyway, let's take a look at No, actually, you know what? We're gonna do this first. Because people always ask me when they first see me, they always say, what's Shelley like? Yeah, what's Shelley really like?
Right.
What's it like being married to Shelley? And then after they're through with that conversation, they always ask me, I'm having a gummy bear moment.
Why do you guys eat on camera? Because it's cringy? Oh my gosh.
Finally.
I know that.
I have an update on this.
You do?
Yeah. I have no idea what's going on or when it's coming out.
That's my update. You still don't know.
I have no clue.
But it's so cool.
It's called, It's Been So Long.
That's what it's called?
I can't remember what it's called.
Since we visited Uranus? That's the title. I think it should be.
Well, maybe I'll change it. It's called New Exodus.
Oh.
There you go. Actually, it says so right there if I just read that.
Oh, I see.
But actually, I have other stuff. That's not the only thing. So, this weekend...
I got to say this, though. I asked this for leg kick. Because I haven't had a White Claw in a long, long time. So
I was out...
I called him.
I was at Home Depot. I was driving home. And I was literally a half a block away from our house. And Shelley calls and goes, hey, can you stop and get some White Claw? And I'm like, like our neighbor's house?
Silence. Can you stop and get White Claw? Right.
I guess. All right.
It was very enthusiastic.
So you may be asking, okay, I'll tell you what we've been doing.
Okay, we mean not me, but them.
Me, Nana, 90-year-old Nana, and my 20-year-old daughter, who I had to pay, or at least she did it.
Yeah.
So Nana did all these. Now this is the free
stickers
stuff.
In the cart, the swag.
As you can see, there's stickers in there. There's the Esther card, and down at the bottom you can see the Wraith of God playing card. There it is, the Ace of Spades. So these are all in there. So you get 7 stickers, 2 cards. Wow. And then on the other side of this, we bagged nearly 2,000 of these preview prints of the next Wraith of God adventure, which is Blood Hunters. As you can see, it says coming soon down there.
Yeah.
You guys saw this painting. I'm thinking I should put the painting up on for sale up on the campaign site.
Maybe.
There's a definite maybe on that.
Well,
but anyway, so everybody
you're not hanging
that orders,
it in the house with... That head at the top.
That's right. She's that old Nosferatu, her buddy. You can't hardly see the wraith. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
There he is. So anyway, everybody who orders gets one of these.
Everybody?
Everybody.
Everybody.
There's not a person who orders that doesn't get one of these packets. This is the free stuff. Plus the stuff I added in the campaign, in the book. Like the Dale Keown epilogue page. Everybody gets that.
Oh my gosh, everybody.
The bulletin page. Everybody gets it.
Everybody.
The Empire Comics value collector stamp. Everybody gets one. And
what else you
also,
got?
these showed up.
These just showed up too.
Check that out. This is the Wraith of God Ruff's Ash Can. 48 pages of, I won't show you all of them, but
just stuff.
all the layouts, not all the layouts, but all the good ones from the comic book. This is a limited edition.
Oh, yeah, these nicely done.
They're square bound. They're ready to rock and roll. Okay, so only 250 copies. You probably can't see that, but there it is. 250 copies. These will be signed and numbered. We sold a little under 200 of the 250 copies,
cool.
So these are still available. But once we start shipping, the campaign's closing.
Whoa.
So, and we're waiting, of course. Hopefully by June 10th, we're supposed to get the Wraith of God graphic novels back.
Nice.
And ready to rock and roll.
And sometime in there,
So that's what I wanted to
we
show
just have
you.
nothing going on, really.
Nothing.
We need another hobby or something. And sometime in there, I'm having surgery. So
Yeah, there's going to be just good times had by all. But you
Who
know
knows?
what? Speaking of a good time, David Williams has joined us in the green room,
Yay!
which means I'm going to let this gentleman in the house.
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, even though he won't be able to hear it. David Williams.
Yay.
There he is.
Brohawk.
D Whams, aka Brohawk. Can you hear me, David?
Hey, David.
There he is. Okay. I can
Thought
hear
he
you
was
now.
taking a nap.
Yeah, we thought you were asleep behind those shades.
I
Maybe
like
he
it.
is.
You can see, is my video on?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I can't see. How's it going,
There you go.
guys? How's it going, Shell?
Good.
It's going okay.
We are managing life, as
Yeah.
you well know.
Yeah.
What
What?
are you drawing there, dude? What's
You
that
don't
black
need
and
to
white
worry about
drawing? Huh? What
You
is
don't need
that?
to worry about it. Don't even look at it. It's
Oh.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, David, we still have a few little things to do, but there are things that I think you'll appreciate. So everybody's giving you the welcome. Everybody's welcoming Hail Brohawk. Hail Brohawk.
Mm-hmm.
Brohawk is the Jesus. What is that? His house?
His house. In
It's in
his
his
house.
house.
His
In
house.
his house.
Okay.
His house.
There
Hello,
you go.
everybody in the chat.
We're
I
so
missed you
cool.
guys. Glad to be back.
We
Awesome.
are thrilled to have you back, quite frankly.
Yes.
And honestly, I'm not being facetious or sarcastic. There we go. Wait a minute. Who's this? No, that's right.
What are you?
See, Jimmy Owens. Jimmy, it's free. You get it. You will
You
get that.
get it.
You get it free.
That's it.
Hey, one of the reasons we have David on, well, we're going to draw, but the other reason we have him on is because this fine gentleman has a campaign going. Let's take a look at it right now, shall we?
Mhm.
I'd like to see way more people backing this thing
Definitely.
than have so far, even though they're almost at 1,000 backers. I think we should easily get to 1,000 backers. We should be able to do that.
Oh, yeah,
Come
yeah,
on,
yeah.
guys.
Tonight. Let's do this.
But anyway, David, tell us, give us a little elevator pitch on this, will you?
It's 3 heroes that get dirt thrown on their name with some fake news, and they have to work their way out of it because all of this fake news, something is brewing underneath all of this, to where if they don't figure this out, a bigger disaster is bound to happen, because you could only hide the truth for a little bit, and they have to reveal that truth, so the truth can't be held back. And so these characters get tested and it kind of fractures them for a moment, and they come back even stronger than before to get to the bottom of what's going on. And the characters are named Truth, Justice, and American Way.
Nice.
It's not just a slogan. So Truth is the lady who could get the truth out of you with a stare. And American Way became a metal man through an accident, but he chose to take what some would consider a curse and turned it into a blessing and uses it to help people. And Justice is justice personified.
Nice.
This has got obviously some just wonderful artwork, which we've come to know and expect from you. But we've also got one of the perks here is Truth, Justice, American Way, Ross. This is going to have your layouts, I would assume.
Yeah, it's going to have layouts, thumbnails, and some finished pencils that will be in the book so that they could see the process.
Okay, cool. So you got the 3-pack. You can get all 3 comics for only $65. It's a pretty good deal right there. Then you can buy the covers individually. We've got Justice, American Way, and Truth T-shirts there. Said that backwards,
Nice.
but Truth, Justice, American Way. There's your signed editions. Ooh, we've got comic books for kids charity. Look at that.
Love
You guys
that.
are being charitable. That's very nice. I should probably do that next campaign. Although my comics may be a little bloody for kids. I don't know. Wraith of God, there's a little bit of bloodletting in there. So I do apologize for those who are sensitive to that stuff, but it's in there. Looks like you hit some stretch goals, 50,000 stretch
Nice.
goal. Everybody gets a set of 3 trading cards. That's pretty awesome. You know, we're going to have this amazing collection of indie trading cards from everybody. That's going to be really, really cool at the end of the day here. So, and there's 3 more. $60,000 corner box stickers. We all know how expensive those stickers are.
Yes.
Oh, and a mini print at 70,000. So look at
We
that.
get there.
100,000 stretch goal is locked. So I see the other goals are locked. Okay, cool. So there we are. So he's at, you guys are at like, what is it? 62,000. I'd really love to see this thing hit at least 80 and make a run at 100. And I think that this book is of the quality that it deserves that sort of attention and backing. So I would encourage everybody to follow the link in the this video to check this out.
Check it out.
And while you're checking things out, check out.
I was going to say,
Yeah, go ahead.
if they've already got it, please share the link as much as possible.
Right.
Yes. That's important because these campaigns are
Get the word
made by you guys on social media,
Yeah.
Spreading the word and helping us out to get the books done. And it helps you guys because it gets you guys your product. It also gets you more stretch goals
More
and everything.
swaggage.
It's the ultimate comic book pyramid scam. So be involved in it and
Sure.
help all you can. Now here, of course, is
Oh, I heard about that one too.
yeah, Wraith of God. This wonderful project has the 3 cover perk, the shot glasses, the beanies, the Dale Keown exclusive cover. It's a virgin cover because there ain't no text on it, Shelley.
Gotcha.
It just looks just like that.
Just like that.
And then, of course, there's my cover. Or you might want to get my cover. And if you don't want
Or-
either of those 2 covers, you can always get my cover.
I
So
love
there's
that one.
like a lot of options for me. And that's what it's all about, is me. So we got some interior pages in there. I don't want to show you too much. This sucker is, and see, that's the black and white version of Dale Keown's cover, which actually was originally intended to be a title page,
Right.
which is a title page in the black and white in everybody's book.
Right.
So even if you don't spend the extra money to get the Dale Keown cover, you're still going to get the image on the inside. So
Yes.
free
Free stuff.
Wraith of God.
Swaggage.
Ace of Spades,
Esther.
Esther card.
Love Esther.
That's the signed and limited edition mini print that I signed all those 350 of them is all. in gold ink.
He had them redone because they
Shiny.
just weren't up to.
That's right.
Yeah.
There was like a really light defect in the printing, and you could only see it when you turned it to reflect the light. But I was having none of it, so had to
You
go in
got
and have them
all those.
redone.
Those have been bagged as well.
Those are all bagged and ready to go, but there's
Wow.
still some available. And of course, this is the card that only the people that
Oh,
signed up early got it
For free.
for free, but it's also available for $5 on a secret perk if you're a backer. And I should send that link out again
You
because
probably
we've
should.
had new backers and
Yeah.
they may want to get some of these. So anyway,
Yeah.
as we're eating
It's been
gummy
a
bears,
very,
David, which is
very pleasant surprise.
yeah, and we owe it
for
all
us.
to you fine people out there
you.
backing these campaigns and making it possible for
Mhm.
all of us. Oh, got another backer just while we were talking. How about that?
Wow.
We'll check on David's campaign a little bit later, but
Yeah.
please
Let's do with some comments.
let's
Some
see what
new
the people have to
comments.
say. Well, let me stop this first and get us back to
Okay.
full size.
Not sure they want to see us full size, but thanks. Thanks,
Geek Avengers tossing $5 my way. And he says, I just put the word out about Truth, Justice, American Way on Twitter, Facebook, Getter, Gab, and Truth Social. Thank
Wow.
you so much, Geek Avenger,
That's a lot of
Thank you.
social.
for letting the people know.
That's
And
a lot
thank
of
you
social.
for sending me $5 to tell me that. I appreciate it.
It's a bonus all the
Awesome.
way
It
around.
was.
Yep.
Objects
Oh,
may
killer
appear closer than
squid.
they appear in David's glasses.
Damn.
Good old Dan Lawless.
Oh, Killer Squid just backed it. Nice job.
Look at that.
Booyah.
Backer won
Let's get it.
1033.
Get
There
it.
we go.
Get it to 1,000.
Let's do it, you guys. If you haven't back that book. I
Do it
personally
Now.
guarantee it's going to be great. So,
Shelly says do it now.
yep.
Man,
Look at Marcus Killigrew said, I forgot what cover I backed, and you're probably going back again
Just to make sure.
just to make sure. Because if you can't remember that way, that's how I look at it.
Just to make sure.
Danky Frankie patting me on the back saying Virgin cover was a great call. Thank you so much, Danky.
Well,
I
and
appreciate that.
it was asked for quite a bit. So, we were just trying to make everybody happy.
Look at this. Alterna has a great card binder. Also, EVS has one. Well, there you go. That's another
nice.
thing. Card binder.
Brian, suddenly
That'd
old.
be cool, Brian. Thank you. Randy backed the Truth cover. Randy's great. He has this problem. He's a chronic backer, so we should all be thankful for that. He backed Wraith of God 13 times.
Randy, you're
So,
amazing.
He has the record.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. But I know David Williams is not, he didn't just show up to get beat in a drawing contest. He
No.
came here to be entertained. And so we have a few
Oops.
more things we want to. No,
Sorry,
yeah, I
David.
know you're not going to get entertained, but we are going to do this. So let's
Okay.
take a look at this fun stuff.
did you kick your mic off?
He muted
Thank
it
you.
for some reason.
I didn't.
Who knows what he's doing? Anyway, this is the first.
Wraith of God pages I ever did back in like 97 when I first came up with the concept.
Wow.
So-
On watercolor.
Yes, on watercolor paper, because I wanted to get a rougher texture, and then I used pen on top of it, so I got this kind of really nice textured kind of feel to it. Anyway, so we have some vultures eating some leftovers, if you know what I mean. There. And then the wraith's riding up. And I put a cross around his neck, and I eliminated. I didn't originally have it there. Then I put it there. Then I took it off again because I thought it was too obvious. So I took it off again.
Yeah.
So pretend that's not there. And then, of course, the vultures fly away, and I got this cute little noose symbolizing death as a panel border. And then I did this double-page spread, which is actually on a single sheet of watercolor board. And this was the original opening to the story, but I rewrote it
Full
because...
screen on that?
What's
Yeah.
that?
Go full screen on it.
Make it
Oh, yeah.
smaller. Go full screen.
You're right. There we go. In fact, Dave, we'll make you so small we can't see you. So there you go. So you got a corpse rotting in the sand there of the deserts. And the vulture's flying off. And there's the old wraith right there. This is back to 97. What's that?
You couldn't have thrown those in the book?
I probably could have, but
Make that a print right now.
I already had like 84 pages in there without even doing this. So maybe I'll throw it in the next one or put it in something. It doesn't make sense. Okay, Shelley, one more.
Yeah.
That last thing?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
This was just me, and this is about the same period of time when I was.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think I was having like a werewolf was like going to be jumping him from behind or something, and but that's about as far as I got on this. And then I just, as many sketches often do, go unfinished. And,
so you did that back in what, 97?
yeah, that's like 96, 97, somewhere in that neighborhood. When I was still in Studio Source when we were in the original building.
Oh my gosh.
So it
That's
might
a
have been
long time
96. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Danky Franks is teasing us with stuff we don't get.
I know, but David's
know.
right. David's right.
Yeah.
I should put it in something, and I will.
Yeah,
So anyway,
there you have it
that's what's in my flat files.
right now.
Let's bring David back on board.
Yeah.
There he
Yeah.
is. All right. So it's
You're such
true.
a tease.
It's true. I am that way. Sorry, I'm chewing. No need to say about eating on camera, right?
Yep.
But it's what we do here.
It's what we do. Snackage.
All right. Now, David, you'll be into this.
Oh no. Okay, here we go. All right.
I don't know, David, if you know or not, but this is the original. Why am I getting an echo?
Dave, do you have your?
Nope.
No.
It's got to be his fault. It always is. Now I'm not echoing, am I?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
It's when I held up the price guide.
From 1976.
My very first
First one I
price
ever
guide
bought.
I ever owned was
Yep.
right here in 1976. So let's take a look at a certain comic that I know
That I won't know anything about.
David will appreciate,
Oh.
though. Being a Warner Brothers guy, even though this wasn't originally Warner Brothers, it's owned by him now. Okay, so this is Space Ghost #1 from Gold Key. I believe it's 1966.
Mm-hmm.
So 67. There's the echo
I
again.
know.
What is going on?
David's messing with you.
Somebody's messing with me. I'm going to mute David for a minute and see if it's okay. Are we echoing anymore?
No.
It's
David.
David's fault.
He's so ornery.
He is. He's messing with us.
All right.
How's it my fault?
I don't know. I don't know. It's echoing though when you're on. So, all right. So in 1976, Shelley,
Oh gosh.
David left the show. We ran
Okay.
him off.
Okay.
In 1976,
Okay.
I was 12 years old.
Yes. David.
Is that better?
Dude, I don't know. No. Yeah, I can still. You're still echoing.
Damn. Hold on.
This is what we call high quality TV. All right, I'm going to mute David for a minute. Okay, so Shelley, how much do you think this cost in 1976?
$20.
No, 30 cents.
What?
I could have got this book for 30 cents in near mint condition.
Wow.
But now the question is, Shelley, how
Oh,
much
gosh.
is it worth now?
$1,250.
The correct answer is, of course, $3,100. This is a book.
That was like
this is a
close
book-
for me.
This is a book I wanted to get,
Yeah.
but now it's no longer really in the books for me.
No,
So if it went from 30 cents to
Hot in here.
$3,000,
I'm not doing
what percentage
math.
of increase is that?
A lot.
Isn't it just,
How many zeros?
it's 1,000%, isn't it? Or is it 100%?
Well,
it's
100% would
1,000%.
double it.
That's true. It's 1,000%, isn't
Okay.
it? Math
I'd have to be
teacher.
paying attention.
Math teacher right there. All right,
Yeah.
David, I'm going to turn your microphone back on. Let's
Okay.
see what happens.
Let's see.
See if you're causing trouble still.
Hello?
David, can you hear me?
Only
Hey.
once.
Yeah,
Can you hear
yep.
me only once?
I think we're good.
Yep.
All right, man.
Coolio. Who's talking?
You don't happen to have one of
Hey,
these, do you?
know, I used to have, but they're all like really jacked up,
Mm.
covered with porn and written on and stuff. That Space Ghost you have on your screen behind you, not the one that you pulled up. Jerome
Right.
did that.
Is that Jerome's?
Yeah.
Oh, very
I knew
cool.
I liked it for a reason. I wondered, I was putting that up there. I thought, I wonder if David or Jerome drew that when they were working at Warner Brothers. And sure enough.
And show enough.
All right.
Okay.
So
Let's
now,
wrap it up so you guys can draw.
okay, but this is the fun part of the show.
Oh, no. We can skip it.
No.
Oh, okay.
We're going to go back and take a look at a Precious Moments clip.
Oh, those are my favorite. Okay.
And then we're going to do Shelley Knows. And then David
Oh, it's
and I are
not my
going to
favorite.
draw.
Okay.
So here we go. Precious Moments.
Fluvoy kai tun van toy kullen kai. Vi sont te spyr ambulant om mion vijagon. Mion manoyen regado ilin.
What?
Okay. That was from the classic 1966 film just prior to Star
Oh,
Trek,
it's not precious
called
at all.
The Incubus, starring our good friend William Shatner.
Oh, Bill.
Now, as
Bill.
far as I know,
You said chat.
And he did.
I did Shatner.
Uh,
And the interesting thing about that is that it is, I believe, the only film ever filmed in Esperanto, which of course is the made-up language where
Oh,
they
that's
combined
right.
English and Spanish, and they were trying to like make it a new international thing. Never really quite caught on. But they
never
did
took off,
make
huh?
the film Incubus in Esperanto, starring, of course, Bill Shatner.
Bill
So
Shatner.
that is why, Shelley, that is a
Oh,
precious moment from yesteryear.
Gotcha.
All right.
Not precious.
Now, as
Oh,
I'm
no.
warming up my hands here, getting ready to draw,
Oh, no.
we need to find out what Shelley knows.
Not a lot today.
We shall see.
Okay. Here we go. Pressure.
Now,
Okay.
David, you're the backup. So if Shelley can't get the cartoon, I expect you to jump in and give me the correct answer.
Okay.
And if you don't get it, I'm going to be very disappointed. I'm not too disappointed if Shelley doesn't get them,
Oh,
but I have high expectations for you.
okay. All right.
Okay, and also in the chat, if the screen goes black, that means we've been flagged, but we will be back in about 2 minutes, so hang with us.
Oh, no.
There's a lot of video participation here,
Oh,
so I
gosh.
tried to cut them.
Okay.
All right. So
No pressure. I'm feeling it.
here's number one. This is an
Okay.
easy one. We're going to ease her into it, Dave. We're just going to ease her into it. See how
Okay.
she does.
Okay. Do it. Got it.
That's an easy one.
Scooby Doo.
Yeah, but what's the actual title of the whole cartoon? It's called,
Scooby Doo.
David, what's it called? The actual,
Scooby Doo and
Is
the
he asleep?
Gang. Scooby Doo and Scrappy Doo.
It was called Clifford.
Good Red Dog.
that's exactly right, Clifford. Now, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Is actually the
Scooby Dooby Doo.
do. Where are you? Okay,
got it.
this one might be a little bit more difficult.
Great. Okay.
Here we go. Cartoon
Okay.
number 2. Shelley's 1 for 1.
One for one. I should stop now.
Okay.
Most futuristic shot you ever saw. I can walk and talk and look.
What is it?
What could it be? You saw it in the chat.
No.
Okay. Well, don't. Now she looked.
Now I'm gonna look. I have no idea.
David, you know what that was?
But I'm gonna be mad when I
Jabberjaw. Yeah.
Dang it.
Shit.
All I could think of when I saw it was, oh, Sharknado.
he had that like one of the Three Stooges voices, you know,
Yeah.
the curly. All right. Anyway, okay.
All right.
This one may be a little easier for you, and it's a little bit more rocket, so I think you'll appreciate this.
Go with my hair.
Here we go.
Guitars and shops and dance. Need sweet, a groovy song. You're invited, come along. Hurry, hurry.
Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right.
It was on the van.
Now we'll try something. I don't know if this is going to be hard for you or not, but let's see.
Probably.
This is an older one, so let's give it a look.
Speed of lightning, thunder, fighting
Underdog.
Who is it?
Underdog?
That is correct. Now,
Woo!
who did you first say?
Well,
Who did you first say?
I first said Hong Kong Phooey, but he didn't have a robe on, so that wasn't him.
Or
Because
is-
I remember my brother used to go to Halloween. Halloween is those
well, our son used to call Hong Kong Fu, used to call him Kong Boyan.
Kung Boyan.
Kung Boyan. So I don't know what that means in baby talk, but that's what he called it. Oh, very good, Shelley. I wasn't sure if you'd get that one or not. All right. Well, I'm kind of out of order here, but that's all right.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter. Here's the next one.
Okay. Bring it.
That's me.
The Grace Tunic.
One of the many Scooby-Doo rip-off cartoons. But of course, they ripped themselves off because that was Hanna-Barbera just ripping off the formula. But who was that, Shelley?
Not a clue.
David.
Speed
Was-
Buggy.
Speed Buggy.
Never would have got it.
Never.
Gun
you
to my
don't-
head, never would have got it.
Never saw that before. Speed
Oh, I
Buggy?
saw it, but I was,
Okay. All right.
it's the only car like I was thinking of. Like, what was the Volkswagen Herbie?
Herbie the Love Bug. Yeah,
That's
well,
what-
not
that's what I
exactly the
saw.
same thing.
Oh,
but
I know.
okay.
That's right.
All right.
Okay.
So now our last two are probably the two best animated shows of all time.
Oh, no pressure.
We'll
Shell.
see what
Okay.
David Williams
do this.
thinks about that. But
Okay.
here we go. Here's
Okay.
number 6. Give us the what-
Johnny Quest.
I know
Johnny
Reggie's-
Haji.
Johnny
Haji.
Yep, Johnny Quest. It is indeed.
got it.
It took her. The mummy threw her. She was
I was
like,
like,
"What is this?"
It's never going to catch anybody that fast.
Yeah, you could always backpedal right in front of that mummy, going, "You'll never get me, buddy." He'd be going. "Ugh."
Okay.
Okay. All right. One more for the
David's
road.
going, is this done yet?
You know,
No,
hey,
Dave-
you know what about that Johnny Quest? They would always do those memes of race looking like Mike Pence.
Yes.
But you know, Race Bannon would never sell out his country.
Oh,
Nope.
look at that.
Nope.
Yeah, a little political commentary. I love it.
Like it.
Okay.
Uranus Quest.
I got a feeling David will say this is the greatest animated show of all time, but I may be wrong. Let's see.
Okay. It was Batman.
It is indeed.
I called that like just way the eyes were done.
Mm-hmm.
I know. It's impressive.
David, were those called the New Adventures? What was that called? Batman the Animated Series? Is that what it was called?
That was the Batman animated series, and then they did the Superman and Batman adventures.
Right.
So
I actually really liked
Yeah,
the
it was really-
Superman show too.
yeah, I worked on that.
Did you work on Superman or Batman? Or both?
Both of them. Both.
Nice.
Now, when you say you worked on them, what did you do?
Character design.
Oh, did you?
Nice.
So
Yeah.
you worked with Bruce Timm on that stuff, then I take it, right? So he was like the art director or whatever, and you guys worked with him as part of his team. How cool is that?
Cool. Well, I'm surprised you didn't put like Herculoids. Do your Herculoids.
Just
or
yeah, gloop and glop. That's it. That's all I can do. So did you get you must have got your name in the credits then and stuff, right? At the end? Oh,
cool.
Sweet. I gotta go back and watch all that.
Yeah.
Just go, oh, there's his name.
Yep. I'm going back through the chat. You guys are so smart.
Okay. So while Shelly's checking the chat, as she often does,
I do.
how do you want to do this, David? Are you working on something?
How would
right
you
now?
like to kick my butt, David?
I don't think that's what I'm saying at all. I don't think that's what I'm saying at all. Do you want to field a topic from the chat? Are you okay?
Question from
I want to know what you got on your board. Are you going to show us? Kate, that's not what I'm talking about.
It's one of the incentives that was on the thing. So
Oops, I'm
sorry.
That was the wrong person.
I don't want to see that crap.
Nice.
So I was just inking it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, very cool.
So that's going to be, is that that's the stretch goal print? Is that what that is? Or what is that exactly?
Yeah. It's a stretch goal print.
Danger Vanessa wants to know, did you do the character design for Livewire?
No, I did not. I did designs on like Dr. Fate, most of the New Gods, a lot of background characters. That's what they mainly needed because Bruce and Glenn would do a lot of the main characters, Glenn Murakami, and then they would pass off those initial drawings to do turns on them, and we would do turns. But there's a lot of background characters that needed to be done, and sometimes when Bruce didn't want to do mains, he would give it out to me or another character artist that was there, Tommy Tahea. He was really great. Do you have any of the originals? Do you have any of the originals? No, absolutely not.
They wouldn't let you keep any of that stuff.
No. That was just, to me, when I worked in animation, it was getting out of comic books, and also the money was really good, but it was also a learning experience, a great learning experience to take all that knowledge that Bruce and Glenn and James Tucker and then go to another animation studio and siphon from them and another and just amalgamate all this knowledge back into comics.
Mm-hmm.
It's way more collaborative than even comic books. So that's why I don't take any kind of like, oh yeah, that's my thing and stuff like that, because you get so obscured because, when award time comes, not that I'm looking for that, who gets the award? It's Bruce Timm. That's his show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if I do a comic book and they say, oh, the award for this comic book, who do you think is going to go to? It's going to go to me because I drew it or wrote it or co-created it.
Right.
So, and I liked being in that collaborative setting. You get to be around other artists and it's fun. And it's more of an educational thing in my personal, you don't go there to, live within the art, because as soon as you do something, you're on to the next thing. You're trying to get to the next thing like quick. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I don't take pride in having, a stack of drawings that look exactly like Bruce Timm's work. Well, that's Bruce Timm's work,
Right.
I'm just a cog in the wheel,
Yeah, but it's still you gotta have a sense of pride that you were actually involved in that process for that cartoon. This is such a great show, even,
I'm glad I helped, but I don't look at the art and go and ogle it like a piece that I did and say, oh man, check this out. That I would show you personally and say, oh man, I took forever to draw this, but man, what do you think? I don't do that with the animation stuff.
Right. No, I can see that, but I'd still be kind of cool. That's one of those things that you could, that's cool to have on your resume, I want to point out also that our friends at Zaid Comics, the Diaz brothers. I assume this is probably Phil chiming in here. They just launched today their CGC. There's CGC. Their CG pinup vacation comic that's basically kind of harkens back to the Marvel swimsuit issue and all that kind of stuff. I'm contributing to it. A lot of guys are. Dan Lawless, I'm sure is. I don't know who all is, but I know there's quite a few people. So you might want to go to. Yeah, Ethan in a bikini. Is that what you said? Ooh.
No, I said Wraith in a bikini.
Oh, Wraith in a bikini. No, actually,
that I'd see, but
I had real trouble
I won't
because
even see me in a bikini. Bleh.
Because Phil came to me and said, "Hey, you want to do this? We want something Wraith centered." And I'm like, "Well, dude, I said Esther is not someone I would use as a pinup model because that's not her shtick." And but then I thought, well, I can use one of these saloon girls from the story and use her, and that's what I did. So she's actually the object of the pinup for the. And it's funny because it's not like girls in 1883 were in bikinis going swimming, So I had to kind of figure out how I was going to broach the subject so it made sense, and I think I did. But
you did.
We shall see.
Cool.
We shall see. But I'm a part of that. And again, he's on Indiegogo right now, so check it out.
Ray seems like he would be a thong guy.
Not in my book, pal.
Little butt flosser.
There you go, Penelope Pitstop. Yeah, that was from the Wacky Races. She's right there, actually, right there on the back screen. Okay, so I'm going to throw it out to the chat. That's you people that are watching right now, all 57 of you. We had over 70 until David came on, and then it dropped, I think. And I don't know what happened there. But, of course, I'm joking. It was when Shelley showed up that, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding about that, too. I'm sure it was my fault because it usually is. But those of you that are with us, now only 56. See, I insulted the chat. Now another person left.
I'm out.
But anyway, you guys throw out some suggestions, what you would like to see David and I draw, and we'll have a little bit of a competition like the good old days that really aren't that old.
Anybody except for a character from Atari Force.
Yeah, no freaking Atari Force will be tolerated.
Oh.
There it is. See, I got myself in trouble. What do you mean by you people? Yep. My thoughts... No, my thong goes right up Uranus. What kind of a show, Shelley, have you turned?
What is happening?
Okay, now let's check this out. Panthro, is that the villain chick from Vampirella?
No, it's the Panther from Thundercats.
Oh, okay.
Thunder.
Well, who's the Panther chick from Vampirella? Is that just Panther? Panther? Is it a Panthro? Oh my gosh, look at these. Lobo, Omac, Johnny Quest. Get up there. Johnny Quest fighting a monster. Yeah, let's make it even easier for us, Danky. Why don't we include like 4 characters? John Blackstar. I don't even know who that is. But Don Edwards did the illustration for the back of all the Wraith of God all the graphic novels. And he's really on a Blackstar kick. That's not that Gil Kane thing, is it? Is no? See, I don't know
Don.
It is. I don't
Sorry.
know what it is. Medusa from the Inhumans. Piccolo. No clue. Nick Fury. That's right. We could do the white one and the black one.
The black one is Nika Fury.
I'm echoing again. What the heck is going on here?
I don't know.
Covering up my microphone.
Still doing it.
I think David's messing with us.
Well, you guys have fun. I am
You're bailing on us?
Yes, I have finals to write.
Apocalypse. Archie the Barbarian.
I like it.
Archie Andrews. Yeah.
Ooh.
Herculoids. Rom. Batman fighting Man-Bat Bruce Timm style. Is that biased enough, Brohawk? He's trying to like to get you the win. Easy. Zach Fernandez says Hulk versus Grunge. Grunge. Isn't Grunge that character from
Gen 13?
Gen 13. That can't be who he means, though, can it?
Can it?
I don't think that'd be much of a fight, actually.
You guys
Was he
have
thinking
fun.
Sludge?
Maybe.
Sludge.
Maybe.
Sludge versus
See
garbage.
you later.
See ya. I'm sure I'll check in.
Two-Face. One artist does a side of the face. Rune from the Malibu days. Garbage Man in a bikini. Probably not going to do that. Pitt. Snake Eyes. Bye, Shelley. Oh, bye, Shelley, as he says goodbye to Shelley. It's not a character. Mr. Sinister, Toxic Avenger, Speedy Gonzalez versus the Cartels, Clayface, Hulk versus Thing, Galactus. Any of this interest you, David?
Not a single one.
Do you have, I mean, this is a dumb question, but because we all hate getting asked it as artists, but do you have a favorite character?
Batman all day. Look, that guy.
Well, is it too predictable for us to do a Batman thing?
But you want to have a chance to win. So we got to do something that.
Well, okay, I could do Clayface and you could do Batman and we could put them together.
No, Clayface is too easy for you because that's in the
Well,
sludge
Batman's
arena.
easy for you. All right.
Dude,
Okay, well, who? You do Batman and I'll do a Batman villain. And we'll have them like facing off.
All right. Now that you did say that, I would want to see how you would do. Like, don't do a Clayface that's based off of the animated one. How would you redesign them, or how would you bring something new to the Clayface character?
Dude, I don't even know because I love that Aunt Bruce Timm design so much. There was like 3 Clayfaces, wasn't there? There was like the Golden Age one.
Mm-hmm.
Was a guy like had a hat and on the coat and everything, and he had kind of a I don't know.
He was like a serial killer too. And the thing is that the animated series kind of put such a nail in all of these characters' kind of backstories, like Mr. Freeze. Like, people can't think of Mr. Freeze without the Nora Freeze story connected to it, which I'm like, but that's not what he originally was. He wasn't this character that you should care about. He was just evil, at one point. And we lost the sense of that. Now everything has to be, the villain that you kind of got to like his backstory or like him as a person, and you understand why he went bad. And I'm like, no. I was thinking, like, if I was to be able to do a Mr. Freeze, I would not do all the hyper fantastic stuff. I'd probably make him like he's like a hitman for maybe Penguin or someone else who's running things, and the way he kills people is he has this proprietary ice gun that shoots these ice things in people, but it doesn't leave evidence, so you can't get a fingerprint off of it, that you can't get ballistics off of it.
That's right, because the ice will melt.
Exactly. And he's just a cold-blooded killer.
Isn't that a prison shiv trick? Isn't that a prison shiv trick? Stab somebody with ice and then it melts?
Yeah, exactly. So make him more like that. He's just cold-blooded killer, And so everything is so, because that Batman show was so, it hit so hard and so right with people. People don't want to think outside of the box with these characters or kind of reel them back, kind of.
Batman and Joker in the Dick Sprang style. Yeah. No. Okay. So what have we decided anything here? What are we doing?
Yeah, you could do Clayface. Go for it. You could do it however you want. You don't have to redesign it. I got it. Do Clayface, but have him holding like Batman's cape and cowl somehow, or you know what I mean? Just like he beat him.
What are you going to do?
I'm gonna draw Batman.
Well, how the pictures won't go together if he has Batman's cape
Oh,
and
you
cowl.
gotta. Oh, okay. Maybe
Well, they
I
don't have to go together. I'm just saying
Okay.
that.
Okay, what if I have Batman and his cowl is off, and his feet are planted with that goop, like he's frozen there, and he's going like this, like so he can't see who he is. He's like, ah.
Well, then you're not drawing Batman though. You're drawing Bruce Wayne, right?
No, he's in his full costume. He just doesn't have the cape and cowl because Clayface is holding.
All right, let's do
I'm
it.
just throwing stuff out there. You tell me. You tell me. I'm on your show.
All right. Well, okay. How about do
I
this?
could do that.
So
I was
people.
gonna say I could do that Dick Sprang Batman.
Yeah, I can do the. Oh, geez. The Bob Kane Batman. I'll have Shelley draw it for me.
Yeah, oh, that's messed up.
Okay. All right. Let's do this. Are you working on 11x17?
Yep.
Okay. So if you have Batman, I'll have Clayface like ripping his cape. So I'll have like Batman like facing us so we can see him, but in his cape will be being pulled, from his backside like this by Clayface, like ripping it. So
like the way you're facing right now, Batman would be facing towards you, but his cape is getting pulled and he's pulling back or something like that.
Yeah, but if the cape is behind him, it's not going to be crossing in front of him. It'll be crossing behind him, so you can show the figure.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Right? So I'll be on the left-hand side with Clayface pulling towards him, and you'll have Batman on the right-hand side, right? So as we're looking at it, Clayface on the left, Batman on the right, like this. And you can have Batman's feet in like Clayface mud. And we'll do this like continuation mud thing, and I'll have Clayface kind of coming out of the mud on his side. Cool?
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I got to put up my drawing table here so that I got an angle.
What did everybody in the chat think of the Batman movie, the recent one?
Oh, that's right. I was going to have you on. We were going to have that big conversation we had on the phone the other day. And I was like, man, we should have saved this for the show. Because what was that?
Hear what everybody else did.
What was that? What were we talking about? You had an idea for a. It was like a comic book story that if you had wrote it, it would be. What were we talking about? Because I thought that story idea was really, really great, and I can't remember what we were talking about. Was it Batman?
I don't know. I can't.
See, we should have recorded it, man.
Yeah.
Daniel Russell says Penguin beat part. I don't know what that means, Daniel, but I think that your intentions are good. Zaid Comics says it wasn't that fun. I agreed. I thought it was too grim. David did not agree with that. You thought it was the right tone, right?
1000%.
JK, I liked it better than Spider-Man, but that's not saying much. Wow. Harsh. Well, see, David, I think there's more people on my side on this one. Actually, I liked the movie. I thought it was good, but I didn't really come away, as we talked about, like that kind of good, fun feeling. It was very grim. A little too grim for me.
That's what Batman's world is.
Well, again, I don't disagree with you. That's why I thought it was a good movie for what it was. It just isn't my favorite thing. I'm really ticked off that I can't remember what. Oh, he was like, if we bought DC Comics, that's what it was. If we bought DC Comics, you'd
Fire
start everything
everybody?
over. The Dr. Fate thing. Yeah, tell. Okay, let me preface this. What this conversation we had was, if you could go in and buy DC Comics and like do whatever you wanted, you had this excellent story idea involving Dr. Fate. So give us that. Tell us what that was.
If I had DC Comics right now, I'd fire every editor first. Every lawyer except for 2. Keep only the best ones. Get a new team of writers and artists. Plan it out and have at least give us like 2 years to produce, the main tranche of books, and we'd have 6 issues in the can before we release one. But what the very first issue of anything to start off this continuity would be to take what was done over the past 20 years and tell a story about Dr. Fate and how he actually manipulated everything that was going on for the past 20 years of DC Comics and all the multiverse and all this kind of stuff, and to say that it was all a machination of Dr. Fate and a spell that he was casting, and that created all these multiverse and all these different versions of said characters and all this other kind of stuff. And long story short, the real Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, all that kind of stuff, they find out this plan and all this that he was doing and all this kind of obsession of God power. They find him and they break their one rule and they kill him because of all of this craziness that he started and all this foolishness with multiverse and Earth 1, Earth 2, and all this other kind of craziness, and weird characters changing their identities and all this kind of all of that stuff you don't like in comics. All that stuff will be erased, and the new would be it would establish that this Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman that you find are actually the very first incarnations of these characters that came from 1939, 1938, 1940, all that kind of stuff. So it's those guys, and you find out that they were able to come to today because of Superman doesn't age like everybody else and Wonder Woman doesn't age, but Batman and his crew, what he did is he stayed alive through the Lazarus pit. You know what I mean? He made that like a part of his arsenal. Just like over the history, you find out all of the weapons that Batman even came up with are pieces of his all of the villains that he fought. Like just like if he fought Scarecrow and he used fear toxin, Batman took that fear toxin and made it a part of his arsenal now. And he made himself immune to it or whatever. And whatever other things that said villains have, Batman just adapted them and he's like the ultimate badass by the time he's here now. You know what I mean? But the thing is that we could go back into those backstories to show where they started and tell those origins and tell them correctly, you know what I mean, without spitting on what happened in yesteryear, and just move it forward. And we could play back and forth in between now and then, you know what I mean? And you could even have two comic book lines of those main characters, the now and then, you know what I mean? And just move them forward from that point. And if you want to make new characters and a new like JSA or whatever it is, you could, and it's a whole new team, and you don't have to regurgitate old characters, making them new in their different race or sexuality or political affiliation, all that kind of dumb stuff that's not necessary. You could do that with a new character and let us warm to them, just like we did with every other character. Let those characters earn their space, just like the main characters did. You know, so that's what I would do with DC. But the number one thing is get rid of everybody.
So basically, now was this was Doctor Strange, was Doctor Fate actually manipulating this stuff? Was it a reality or was it in his mind?
He found this kind of like God power, and it's a reality, but the main superheroes saw that it was like an abomination. You know what I mean?
Right.
and that's why they had to kill him and once they kill him, they know it collapse in on itself and be destroyed. So all of that stuff is, every other Earth is like a perversion of the original. So the original guys want to get rid of all of this other stuff, you know.
So basically, he's gone mad with this godlike power and sort of playing high evolutionary and creating all these different worlds and scenarios because he can.
Mm-hmm.
And in the process, screwing up everybody's life and ruining the comics.
Exactly. In reality and in the fantasy world. So, that's what I would do.
All right, David, take a look at this. See, you can see what I've got going here. Foundation otherwise. See, he's pulling on his cape about. It's about a third of the way down or so. So I'll leave that kind of open so we can, I won't ink that part, and then we can match the cape if we need to.
All right.
To where it's.
I got it.
Okay. Randy Howell is tossing money my way, so I'm going to take a break here and see what he has to say. Thank you, Randy, for the $2 Canadian. David Williams for the new DC EIC. There you go. The new editor-in-chief, man. No, I thought that was a brilliant idea. It solves all the problems of all the junk. Now, would this go back pre-crisis as well? So we're getting rid of everything, right?
Yes. As much as we like it, it doesn't mean that it didn't exist. It says it exists, but we're ending it. So we don't have to keep going into that, thing that you have to do a crisis to fix things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we could get out of those bad habits.
Daniel Russell says, don't kill him, lock him in the source wall.
Whatever it takes.
Well, then he could be a threat. He could be a threat later on, right? If you wanted to bring him in to screw up your universe again.
You could have it become that thing where he sees it and he wants forgiveness and he wants redemption and stuff like that. So he could, he could do that.
Well, check this out. You have to involve the Spectre somehow. I love the Spectre.
Yeah, me too.
I had this 1960s story that I wanted to do that I almost got Dan DiDio sort of turned on to, but I don't think he didn't want to go back to the 60s and do something in the 60s, but I thought, wouldn't it be kind of funny? It was called Justice League, JLA, The Odd Squad. And it was in the 60s. So you've got Uncle Sam, who I think is one of the, what are those dudes that are like the all-powerful guys, like the Phantom Stranger, the Spectre, one of the Guardian guy, and they're called the, not the Illuminati, but they're kind of like these spiritual guys up there that sort of control the cosmos. In DC's U, what are they called? Someone will know.
I don't know.
Well,
I can't think right now.
Anyway, but Uncle Sam is one of those guys, right? The Lords of Order or Lords of Chaos or Lords of Order, something like that. And but Uncle Sam, who's I guess in DC's definition is like this spiritual being. So he's up there with them, right? And so he's watching this, all the unrest, the political unrest and stuff of the 60s. And, the Justice League proper with, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, the whole gang, they're not trusted by America's youth, right? Because they're viewed as being, part of the establishment, right?
Yeah.
So Uncle Sam is like, I need to go down there and form a new team, a new Justice League that speaks to America's youth, so we can get these screwed up kids back, back to respecting authority and, all these things that, basically an old conservative Uncle Sam would do.
Mm-hmm.
And the Spectre's up there warning him, don't get involved, don't, and he's like, no, I really have to do this. So he goes down and he forms this team by collecting like all the oddball characters of the 60s that DC had, like Plastic Man, Metamorpho, the Creeper, Angel and the Ape, the Dolphin, and oh my gosh, who was that ragdoll character that it lasted 2 issues and got canceled? Brother Power the Geek.
Mm.
And so he forms, because he thinks, this is a team that speaks to the generation, right? And this will be someone they can get behind and respect and all this kind of stuff. Well, they end up trying to do stuff and they just screw it up, right? Because they're a horrible team, and they're not really on board with Uncle Sam's vision, and so they end up screwing stuff up, and the Justice League proper has to come in and save him on a couple of occasions, right? And but the interesting thing on what happens is it's a Eclipso story, where Eclipso is going to launch these nuclear weapons to create a nuclear winter, so that basically it's dark all the time and he can, be Eclipso 100% of the time and rule the world and all that kind of stuff. So you got this team, they actually come together and stop these nuclear bombs and all this kind of stuff, and have this great success. But at the end, Uncle Sam kind of learns his lesson that, he needs to stay up where he was at and quit getting involved and trying to alter history and kind of let it take its course kind of thing. And but it was a great way for me to get to draw a bunch of characters that I really liked, which are all the weird oddball DC characters.
Yeah, I like all that. I like all those characters you picked too.
Yeah, so it would be a lot of fun, and I had different takes on each one of the characters. I really thought that making the Creeper crazy, really crazy, would be an interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had him, like he had like a little Creeper, kind of like Batmite kind of thing, but you didn't really know if it was an interdimensional being or if it was just in his imagination that he was always talking to. So the Creeper was always sort of crazy and not there. And of course, Brother Power the Geek is just basically a doll that becomes animated through, some sort of weird cosmic accident or electrical accident or some weird thing. And so he's really kind of this mindless thing, that would, he sees a toy store and there's all these dolls in the window, and he breaks the glass, and tries to rescue all the dolls. He thinks they're being held captive, and they're not. And so they get busted for stuff like that all the time. And of course, Plastic Man's a nut, and Metamorpho is just a misunderstood dude. And so I had a lot of I can't remember all the details from the story. I had it all worked out, and but it was I thought it'd be pretty cool and something you could do as like an Elseworlds type thing, right? And so there wouldn't really be any editorial interference in terms of continuity and things like that. So, but I couldn't ever get it off the ground.
How's this, Aaron?
Yes. Yep.
Is that
That'll work perfect. Awesome. Okay, so the cape's being pulled up a little bit, so I'm going to make sure so we can match these fairly well. I'll leave the cape last to ink it so that I can match it up. And see, and then we can put them together and auction it off.
There you go. I could mail it to you, and you could because I'll make the cape black, and then you can match the blacks.
Do yeah, yes, do that, and then I'll put it up.
Yeah,
It'll be
and
fun.
maybe you could put some background something on there. Cool.
See, it's genius. It's always about marketing, right?
Yeah. But that sounds like a cool idea. And they always shoot down the cool ideas.
Well, it always comes down with Dan. It always comes down to one thing, and I totally got it. Because I was pretty tight with Dan, and there was no BS. I mean, he pretty much told me what he thought, and I would either, obviously had to go along with it because he's the editor in chief or the publisher. But he always had, it always came down to sales, right? And he's kind of like, if he thought he could turn it into a moneymaker, he'd do it. But he'd look at that and go, "Yeah, I don't really see that making people buying it." And I'm kind of like, "Yeah, I probably don't either, but I still want to do it."
Yeah.
So I probably wasn't the best salesman, but I mean, you're talking about a bunch of oddball DC characters that were second, third, even sometimes fourth tier characters. So it was always. It was always a hard sell, but those are always the things I tried to pitch because they would offer me the least interference editorially because I knew no one really cared editorially about them. So, when I did the Metamorpho miniseries, one of the reasons I pitched it was because I figured no one's doing anything with Metamorpho. He's not going to be involved in any sort of crossover thing so that, I'll have to rewrite the story, which I had to do anyway because they did end up using him in something after I already started. So I had to integrate some story ideas that would help tie into what they were going to do. And then I don't think they ended up doing it anyway. So, but that was always, I was just going to say, that was always my intent, was to get characters that other people weren't really all that concerned with, so I could kind of go in and do what I wanted to do. And there were characters I liked, so there's stuff I really wanted to work on.
I kind of got mad at Dan because I never dealt with him personally, but I was dealing with him through Mark Chiarello.
Yeah.
And I pitched this thing to Chiarello, and he liked the idea, and he went and pitched it to Dan, and Dan shot it down like super quick because it had such a strong retro vibe to it. And,
really?
Yeah, and Dan he said, "Oh, I don't want to do this kind of retro stuff," and he thought it was too contrived, and I'm like, all comics are contrived.
What was it?
It was a Superman story about. It was called Chain of Events. And it was about Superman, like, remember in the 77, 78 Superman, Christopher Reeves, remember when Jor-El was talking to young Clark in the Fortress of Solitude? And then all of a sudden it cuts, and then now he's an adult flying out of the thing. Well, what happened to all those years?
Right.
So I wrote this thing about Jor-El telling Kal to go out into the world and see it as Kal, not as Clark, and just explore the world, you know what I mean, and see it for yourself, not just America, just go see, And so he does, and he comes back around, and he's like Kane in Kung Fu. He's just walking around and seeing stuff, and he happens across this circus that is looking for someone to help. They need people to feed the elephants or do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, one of the performers hurts themselves and his name is Solomon. He was the strong man. And Clark does something that shows that he's a strong man, and they go, "Hey, you wanna take his part for a while?" And he ends up wearing the strongman suit, and the strongman suit is the very first appearance of the Superman suit.
So like from the 1938 Action Comics
Yeah,
Superman suit.
Exactly, it's that suit, you know. So it has the straps on his boots and all this other kind of stuff. So the S didn't mean Superman; it meant Solomon, right? And all while you're going through this whole entire thing, you're realizing everybody who's in the circus is someone from the DCU. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So one of the clowns is later you find out it's a young Joker. You know what I mean? And Oswald Cobblepot's in there, and all these people. And Orion is in there. Not Orion. Oberon is in there, and Barda. You know, he's running the circus. So you just see all these people. What was the Superman's mermaid chick? His girlfriend. I'm blanking on her name. Anyway, she was in there. It just had a whole bunch of the DCU characters and stuff. But
not
they're
Lois
not who
Lane.
they are. Huh?
Not Lois Lane. Who are you talking about?
No, you know the mermaid girlfriend that Superman had?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about, man.
Google it. Anyway.
Someone in the chat, help us out. Who's the mermaid girlfriend?
Yeah, I'm blanking
Amber.
right now.
Was it Amber Turd? No.
You're funny.
Lori Lamaris.
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
Lamaris. Yeah. She's in it. It just has a ton of these people, and they're not who they become because they're not the first. We're exploring the guy who's the first. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Graysons are in there. You know.
I was going to say, well, someone suggested in the chat that I think that's a good idea. Is you have Dick Grayson and Boston Brand, do the high wire act.
Check this out. You find out that young Bruce Wayne is in there, and that's where he learned his acrobatic skills.
Oh,
you know, so and you're like, hey, why is he there? And Dick Grayson's mom, she's not a Grayson yet. You know, she's just a gypsy who's a part of the, circus, that's learning acrobatics. She's not married to, Dick's father. So there's something there. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just leaving seeds for things that could possibly happen in the future. And that seed I wanted to leave was that, she's having kind of like a lover's spat with Bruce Wayne. Says, look, I don't need your money. I don't need you to, take care of me and all this other kind of stuff.
What, Dick Grayson's mom is?
Yeah.
All right.
So, long story short, I wanted to make, it known that that's his son this whole time. That's why he took him in.
Oh, well, see, that's cool. Now, this would have to have been an Elseworld story, right? Because obviously it messes around.
Yeah, that's what I wanted, but, it wasn't going to, happen because, Dan wasn't having it. He thought it was too contrived. Like I said, all comic books are contrived.
That's kind of the fun thing about this story, though, is to have all that interconnectivity.
Exactly.
And as an Elseworlds, you can do that sort of contrivance for the sake of what you're going for.
Yeah.
And
so this whole circus thing gets interrupted and disturbed because this gang comes in trying to look for this power source because there's someone behind the scenes saying, hey, there's this huge source coming from this thing and it's traveling across America. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And what this power source is basically Superman. Kal-El. He's not Superman yet. So it's Kal-El. And so they cause a disruption, and you find out later it's it's Lex Luthor. He's trying to find this source of power, And,
so basically, you've got, in a lot of ways, not the entire DCU, but all the main players in the DCU are kind of filtered through this circus story.
Yeah, and all of their motivations and how they get fractured because this circus kind of breaks up, and they go their separate ways. They start going down their road, and that's how the chain of events happen. That's why I wanted this first link in the chain being Kal-El that started everything.
I think that's a cool idea, especially as an Elseworlds thing, because you don't have to worry about the continuity, but it sort of opens up this door to all sorts of interesting possibilities. Almost like you're starting a whole new Elseworlds universe kind of thing,
But look at what Elseworlds really is. It Dark Knight wasn't a part of continuity, but now got absorbed into it.
Right.
But if the content is so good that it transcends the continuity, give it a chance. And that's the problem with DC and Marvel now. They cut off true creativity by getting rid of Elseworlds and getting rid of, was it Marvel Fanfare over in Marvel, and, where guys could explore outside of continuity and say, hey, what if I push this left of where you guys were going?
Right.
And we got some really great stuff, but they don't want creative teams to shine like that for some strange reason. Only certain ones, they only want certain ones to have these long, crazy runs on books that people don't like. And you got to stick with it, whether you like it or not, So I wanted to step outside of the box and say, hey, let me try to make a little bit more sense of this in my way,
Right.
kind of clean up the edges, so to speak. So, oh well.
Yep.
But I said some nasty things about Dan on my DeviantArt thing, and then Chiarello got mad at me. He said, "Man, you're not supposed to be saying this stuff, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "That's how I felt. I can't help it, I keeps it real, and I guess I kept it so real I didn't get any more work from DC. No, that's not true. I did get more, but I shouldn't have said that nasty stuff about Dan. So Dan, if you saw, I'm sorry.
Well, that's the thing. You can get emotional pretty easily, and I always tried to look at people that were making decisions over my head, and try and look at, the amount of pressure they're under to, make sure everything they do is a success, because if it isn't, it's their, it's their job, it's their neck that's on the line. And so I sort of got that, and the only time I ever really got projects off the ground is when it wasn't so much that, Dan was like, oh, this is a brilliant idea, let's do it. It was more like, okay, we got to use this character because we haven't done anything with him for so long. All right, what do you want to do? Kind of thing. And then, okay, it's a mini series. And then he would try to figure out a way to make it as least painful as possible for the sales side of it. Like, so a lot of the stuff I ended up being in like weird anthology books that no one read, which I always thought was kind of defeating the purpose. But from his standpoint, I'm sure it was just, well, we got to get this out there to secure the copyright and all that kind of stuff, or extend the copyright. But I know it's not going to make any money, so I got to put it out in a way that's going to lose us the least amount of money. And that's not necessarily a great way for anything to succeed, but at the same time, I kind of get the business side of it, even though I didn't agree with the creative side of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we as creative people, we would greenlight anything that was a good idea, regardless of, well, this isn't going to sell. You're like, yeah, but it'll be great,
Yeah. Sure.
Because that's what we care about. Is the artwork great? Is it a great story? Then, why aren't we doing it? Well, because it's not going to sell. So, but we don't make those decisions. We just get to come up with the ideas and then have everybody turn them down for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah. But it hurts our egos. It hurts.
I know. Well, see, that's why I never took it personal. I never felt like, oh, they're rejecting this because they don't think it's a good story. They're rejecting it because they don't see it as a viable financial project. And generally, when I'm coming to Marvel with a Man-Thing project, or I'm coming to DC with a Creeper project, those are hard sells, regardless of how good the story is, because not enough people, I shouldn't say no one, but not enough people care about the characters.
Yeah.
So I had a Superman story. It was originally a Gen 13 story, and then I adapted it to be a Superman story because I wanted to do it in Gen 13 bootleg because they were doing all those sort of like, two-part stories or one-issue stories that were kind of, out of the continuity of regular Wildstorm stuff.
Yeah.
With Gen 13, and I did one of those, and it was a blast. But this other one it was Gen 13, the storybook man, but then I changed it to Superman. So I changed it into a Superman story, and the premise is he gets this I don't know, some coffee shop like a Starbucks is being held up, right? So he goes to investigate what the heck is going on. And it's like Frankenstein, the Mad Hatter, Winnie the Pooh. They're like holding up this Starbucks, right?
Uh-huh.
And he's like, what the, and he can't do anything against these characters because they're magical beings. And so they get away, basically, and so he's got to figure out what the heck is going on and what where these things came from. And so he tracks all this down to, he plays actually a little bit of Batman where he's, kind of goes into this detective mode, and he figures out, he traces them to this bookstore, like this old, used bookstore, and there's this, crotchety old Uncle Creepy type guy that runs the bookstore. And he goes in there as Clark Kent, right? And he basically, this old guy talks him into opening up this ancient old book. It's only for special customers kind of thing, right? And so he opens it up, and this thing sucks him into the book. So he becomes part of this story, right? And so what he discovers is this guy that runs this bookstore is releasing these fictional characters in Metropolis to commit these crimes and stuff, basically to lure Superman into this bookstore. Mm-hmm. So he gets sucked into this story, and what he finds out is that all the fictional stories ever written are interconnected. So he can literally jump from this book that he's in to, John Carter of Mars, or he can jump to a Western, or he can jump to and he becomes part of the story of that book, right? Yeah. And he can like change how the story goes in the book to suit his needs, but he's still trapped. So he's got to figure out a way to get out. So he basically remembers, originally I had this with Lois Lane, but at the time that I pitched, by the time I actually got around to pitching this, I don't think they were even involved anymore, because they had what was going on with their personal, I had no idea. But originally it was Lois Lane was reading this book, and Superman knew what book she was reading. So he jumps into that book and basically talks to her through the book to let her know that he's trapped in this story. And so, but in the meantime, while he's figuring all this out, you have like parts of it that are like, he's John Carter of Mars. He goes into a John Carter of Mars type story, right? He goes into a Tarzan type story. He goes into a Civil War type story or an old Western and does all these different. So he has all these weird Superman adventures inside these, stories. And he
That
finally,
sounds fun.
yeah, I really liked it. And so anyway, I basically had Lois figure out where he was. And then when I couldn't use Lois, I figured, well, somehow he'd get in contact with Batman, and then he could do like a World's Finest thing. And Batman would come help him out. But anyways, it turns out the guy that's running the bookstore is Mr. Mxyzptlk.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
and so he has to trick him into getting into the story so he can get out. And so he does. He tricks Pitlick into getting into the story, and he sets him up so that he ends up bringing him in right at the Tale of Two Cities during the French Revolution. And so Mr. Mxyzptlk gets his head lopped off in a
oh my goodness.
in a guillotine, and the last image is Mxyzptlk's head in a basket screaming, you know, Superman, you'll pay for this. And that's the end of it.
That's
So
awesome.
I pitched this to the guy they hired. There was a short period of time, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was going to be the executive editor. So he was below Bob Harris, but above all the other editors.
Mm-hmm.
And I met with him and Bob Harris at San Diego to pitch this story. And he really liked it. And he said, yeah, he goes, and he was saying really complimentary stuff to me, like, this is the kind of thinking we need, you know. We need, you know, stories that we can put inside the regular titles like Superman or whatever, because I was thinking of it as a standalone project, but it could easily be a story arc within the, you know, within Superman.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, yeah, he goes, but you can't write it. And I went,
Oh.
that's what he said. And I go, whoa, wait a minute, why not? And he goes, he goes, I'm just not going to, you know, we'd have the regular Superman writer write it. I went, well, wait a second. And we talked a little bit more, and I said, it's okay if you don't want me to write it. I said, but you should at least take a look at my work as a writer before you make that decision. I said, you're making this decision based solely on the fact that you don't think artists can write. Correct?
Yeah.
And he said, he admitted that was his prejudice. And I said, that's fine. I go, but you should at least take a look at my writing, because I do have examples of it out there, and see if you like it or not. If you don't like it, fine. But don't just, you know, eliminate me from being the writer artist because you don't like writer artists and you don't want, you know, writer artists. So it was an interesting conversation. It never got off the ground. I don't know what happened. If I think I sent him the outline and everything for it, and I never heard from him again. And then pretty soon he wasn't with the company anymore. So I don't know what happened. But
Wow.
But that was
That's
the thing
great.
that kind of ticked me off. I was like, dude, come on. You're dismissing me as a writer without even looking at something I've written.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's like,
But
how did you get a job and not know that Frank Miller is a writer artist?
well, I think they'd had too many bad experiences, you know, because I think Finch was writing and drawing where his wife was writing, and he was drawing a Batman series, and I guess that didn't go over too well. And there was a couple other things I think that happened with writer artists that, you know, ended up not being what they wanted to do. And this guy, I think, was more of a traditionalist and wanted to get it back to, you know, the writers being in control and not, you know, having the artists have that much power to, you know, write and draw something. But like I said, it never got off the ground, but it sort of ticked me off because I thought this is a fun idea. You know, this could be a lot of fun to do. And, you know, and he liked the idea. That was the weirdest thing. Oh, this is a great idea, man. I love it. But you can't do it. Get someone else to do it. You're like,
You're all black because I'm black. I'm like, oh, what?
That's right. That's what I said. I said, no, it's because I'm white, right?
Yeah. You're part of the patriarchy.
That's right. And of course, in typical fashion, it would be another white guy telling me that I was part of the white patriarchy.
Yeah, exactly. While he's wearing his Spike Lee Fight the Power shirt and all this kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
exactly. Exactly.
He's all, you white devil. You're like, what? Yeah, we're white devils. What do you mean, you? We.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh man. But I mean, it just goes to show you that, you know, we've got a lot of ideas, and that's why it's, you know, I'm so grateful that we've got this opportunity now to do crowdfunding and stuff, because we can get some of these ideas out there without, you know, this sort of, we don't have to battle the editorial to sell the concepts. We just have to convince our friends out in the audience that this is a worthwhile project.
Exactly.
Let's see. Randy Howell says, then the artists went crazy and the artists moved to CG. Then the writers went crazy. Oh, I see. And the writers went crazy and the artists moved to CG. Well, there's some truth in that too. He says he's out there somewhere making bank off the story Aaron submitted to him. Yeah, that's right. I'll wait for it to show up. You're not trashing that drawing, are you?
No. I just don't want to draw on this pad.
Oh, okay. Green Laser says, and that story, Aaron, is why corporate comics suck now. Yes. Yes, that is. Exactly. Citizen Ronan says, well, how about if I don't like bald guys? Well, I mean, that could be a prejudice too. Can I say that name backwards? I can't even say it right frontwards. It's not Mitzel-Pitlick, but that's not correct, is it? Or do you know?
Sounds right to me.
Okay, somebody corrected me on that. It might have been Dio. I can't remember.
It's Pixelic Little Dick.
Randy Howell says, I would jump into the Penthouse Letters column. That Superman ends up in the Penthouse Letters column. Oh. There it is, the never-ending story. I knew I ripped that off from somebody. That's right. Graham Nolan knows how to say it, and he's probably one of the few guys on the planet that actually does know how to say that correctly.
Because that's his actual name.
That's right. If you say it backwards, he'll be trapped in another dimension forever.
Yeah.
Was that the first Mitzel-Pitlick story where Superman had there was a giant typewriter and he had to type his name backwards or something on the typewriter? Yeah. Oh, jeez. I also pitched him this idea for taking like all the original, well, it wouldn't have to be the originals, but basically guys like Black Lightning and some of the characters that were the outsiders.
Yeah.
And basically giving them you do this mini series, and so the first one, let's say the first one's Black Lightning, and then in the next issue, I don't know, who are some of the other guys in the outsiders? I can't even remember.
Halo, Metamorpho.
Yeah, Metamorpho's in there. So each one of these characters, each one of these characters would get their own solo story, but then it would tie into the issue right before them. So, so Black Lightning, let's say the next story was Metamorpho. Well, then Black Lightning would show up near the end of the Metamorpho thing, and they would be tied in together. And then the next one would be the next character, and then Metamorpho and Black Lightning would show up, and then this, and so on and so forth. And then you get to the last issue, and they've got this team without any real direction, and then Batman sort of adopts them, and they become the new outsiders. And so it was like, so you use this miniseries then to launch a new Batman and the Outsiders book.
Yeah.
And he also liked that. This is the same guy I pitched this to at the same meeting. He liked that, but they were doing something else with the Outsiders, so he couldn't do it. And he wouldn't let me write it anyway, I'm sure.
Sucks.
Yeah. All this brain power we've wasted creating all these great concepts we can never use, or at least in the form they were originally thought to be used in. I mean, but Wraith of God was a Western Ghost Rider story. It became its own thing, so
thank you, Marvel.
That's right. Because they would have all that stuff now.
Do you think you would have made as much at Marvel?
No. Because this was back in '97, so I probably had a really crappy page rate already.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows how much of the story would have actually made it.
Exactly.
Because I did pitch it to Dan, and he liked it at DC. But I remember him saying, yeah, I like it. There's some changes I want you to make, though. And then we never had another conversation about it before he got let go. And so I don't know. He probably wanted to remove all the religious elements or the Christian elements out of it, which it's not heavy-handed by any stretch of the imagination, but they are there. And, even in the title, I mean, my gosh, it's Wraith of God, so there's a reason why it's called that. But I think I've done a pretty fair job of balancing, it's really a, secular story with some Christian elements in it, which is what, I try to do when I do that kind of material, because I don't want to create stuff that could be viewed as, preachy or religious propaganda or anything like that. You're trying to tell a good story that just happens to have maybe a Christian character in it, and then they act appropriately as they would. And then you've got characters in there that aren't, and they act as they would act. And that's just kind of, I think, how you be honest with it if you're going to include morality tales. And that's really sort of what this is.
Yeah. They probably keep all the Christian stuff if you were denigrating him somehow.
That's right. Well, Garbage Man has a Christian character in it that's sort of the voice of morality to Garbage Man. And I got that through no problem. But again, no one was really paying attention either,
Yeah.
And it wasn't heavy-handed. It was just there as one of the characters. And I think that stuff is fine, to have that type, whether it's political, religious, whatever, you can have that sort of stuff in your story as long as it needs to be there because that's who the character is, right? Instead of taking a character that isn't that and making them that, then it becomes a propaganda story as opposed to a legitimate story that has these issues in it.
The Avengers story that Joss Whedon did, that movie?
Yeah.
There's a part in there, remember when they're in the jet and Thor comes in and takes Loki out and out of the jet, and Iron Man goes after him, and then Captain America is putting on his parachute to dive down after him, and Black Widow goes, hey, you might want to sit this out, Cap. Those people are basically gods. And Cap's response was, he said, "There's only one God, ma'am, and I'm sure he doesn't dress like that." See, that's good writing, because that's exactly what Cap would say instead of Joss Whedon putting his bias against Christianity. You know what I mean?
Right.
He put the character first. He didn't write himself into it.
Right. Yep, and that's we need a little bit more of that going on instead of the other.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to draw Batman wanting to slob down on another guy, that's more of a reflection on you, because there's no history of Batman ever doing that before.
Right.
I mean?
Yep.
It's like, what are you trying to say, about yourself?
Well, you're either trying to say it about yourself, or you somehow think by writing a story like that you're going to get brownie points with, the cultural elite or something. Because you're not doing it because that's who the character is. You're doing it for an ulterior motive that benefits you personally, one way or another.
Yeah.
So I took whose ever idea it was to have a few batarangs sticking into Clayface.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good idea, so I stole it. Oh, look at this. Jeff Potts says, if Aaron is drawing his knuckles, he needs to add way more hair. Well, here, this will knock the hair right off you, Jeff. No. Brian Suddenly Old says, I will say this has been a very entertaining stream. Aaron, would you option a live action film of Wraith of God? Sure. Why wouldn't I? Take the money, baby. The thing is, anytime you sell your rights to something like that, you're going to get screwed. So you just kind of know going in. But I think I don't know. I mean, I would be just like everybody else. If I sold a property for like a television show or something like that, or a movie, and they didn't do it right, I mean, I don't know if I would be like as angry as Alan Moore, because I would expect it, to a certain degree, but I would hope that they would understand what made the story work and not take those elements out of it. But I don't know. Are you how much of a purist are you creatively, David, on that type of stuff? Or would you just say, hey, someone wants to license this and make a movie out of it, I'm taking the money and running?
You mean on my own characters?
Yeah.
It depends on how much money. If it's like crazy money, now I'll say do whatever you want. It's going to reflect on you.
I know. Well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, at some point you're kind of like, well, okay, you just paid for the right to do whatever you wanted to.
Exactly. So I'm not a fool. I got a family and I got responsibilities and all that kind of stuff. And the other thing is that if my book exists, there's the thing that came first. So whatever they do is on them.
Well, that's and I agree with that wholeheartedly, because I think it's, you're very rarely going to be in a position where you can sell a property and then have creative control over that property. That's just not going to happen, right? So whenever it may turn out great, it may turn out horrible. You have no way of knowing until it's too late. In most instances. Well, in almost in all instances, I can't remember a time where a creator went, hey, no, that's not right. You guys need to change this. And they went, oh, okay, we'll do that for you.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, look at how different Jaws is from the book, if you've read the book. But Peter Benchley did write the screenplay, or was one of the writers on the screenplay, so he did have some input, but he understood that it was a different medium and some changes had to be made to make it work cinematically. And it's one of it's a classic film now as a result. And it's not really, it's, of course, the shark is the same, the shark element, but all the character stuff is very different in the book. But I think that if you sell a property, you're going to have a different screenwriter come in there, and he's going to do his take on it. Mm-hmm. And all you can do is hope for the best, right? But it's hard to turn down a deal if someone says, yeah, we're going to give you $500,000 for the rights to do this. Or if they're giving you 10 grand for it, you're kind of like, yeah, okay, well, if that's all the money you're giving me, then I want a little bit more say in how this turns out.
Exactly.
Because that's not big money by any stretch of the imagination. But if someone drops $1 million on your property or $500,000 on your property, it's kind of like, they're going to do what they're going to do,
Exactly.
And they don't make that decision before you sign the paperwork to give them the rights.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you've already signed the rights away by the time they decide what they're going to do with it. And so you really don't have much to say. So, I think we would all try and get as much creative input as we could. But by the end of the day, if you know the film industry, and both of us do quite well, that's not how it works. Unless you get in a position maybe where you're can work out a deal where you're an executive producer on it and actually do have some say. But those don't happen very often.
So you're in the pitch meeting and they're saying, Aaron, okay, we have this idea for Wraith of God. This is what we want to do, bro. But we want to tweak some things, okay? We want to make Wraith the leader of Antifa. What do you think of that, bro?
Well, see, have I signed the paperwork yet or not?
But hold on. I just want to give you a peek at this check. Look at those zeros, bro.
Well, like you said, it would depend on how many zeros we're talking about
here. Because all they're doing is actually just paying for the title. They're not paying for the story.
Right, exactly. They're paying for the concept. And even that can get changed around, right?
Exactly. So the Wraith of God is going to be the leader of Antifa.
And I'm going to go cash my $1 million check.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all my friends will go, "Why did you see that movie? It was horrible." And I'm like, hey, I had nothing to do with it, man. I sold them the rights and they screwed me. What can I say?
Exactly. He said I was watching the movie and crying in $1,000 bills. Wiping my tears. Oh, this movie's terrible.
But see, the great thing is, if you do something like that and it's a hit, right?
Yeah.
Then they come back to you, regardless if they, totally destroy your story or not. But if it's a hit, then they come back to you for your next thing. And now you've got power and leverage.
Yeah.
And that's where you can, say, okay, you want Garbage Man? All right, but we got to do it this way. I'm guessing they don't want Garbage Man, but
yeah.
It's funny. I think out of all the
Wraith of God comes from Uranus.
Well, the funny thing is, I think out of all the stuff I have created or would be considered creator-owned properties, Wraith of God is the only one actually that has potential. Because I can't see anybody doing anything with Garbage Man, and I can't. Kit Carter is so retro that I just can't see anybody doing it and thinking it would be a viable option for this day and age. If it was the 50s, and you were going to do a serialized thing, I could see it. But maybe a cartoon show, but it's too sexy for a cartoon show, so it's like, I just don't see it. Power Cubed could be done. You could do something with that.
There's no such thing as too sexy for cartoons nowadays.
Well, you're probably right about that. Probably be an HBO cartoon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they got that Love, Sex, and Robots and all that kind of stuff. That show is crazy.
Well, man, if they couldn't even get screw on head off the ground, did you see that pilot that they did for that?
No.
Mignola's screw on head.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
that was incredible. It was so good and it was so funny. And no, they didn't pick it up. I was stunned.
A lot of morons out there.
Yep. But the fact that they actually did an entire episode. Somebody funded that.
Yeah.
For nothing.
They had faith. That's messed up when your faith gets crushed like that, right?
Well, the thing is, it's like to produce an animated, episode, which is probably 30 minutes long. That's a lot of manpower and a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I don't know if, although maybe they did it like, they used to do television pilots, right? They'd sell the pilot to the studio and they would fund the pilot and then they would make a decision whether to go forward with it after the pilot. So maybe that's what they did. Maybe they got the money from HBO or whoever they were pushing it on. And they just didn't like it, which I can't imagine. That was so funny and seemed to really capture the spirit of what Mignola was doing or is doing when he does screw on head stuff. But again, these executives, I had a conversation with somebody once and basically said, why is it that the worst people are in charge of all the, the movies and sometimes comics and all that kind of stuff? And his answer was, well, because all the creative people that actually do know good from bad, they want to be making the stuff. They don't want to be the suits running the stuff.
Yeah. But the funny thing is that we've seen creatives get those high empowered jobs and stuff like that, and they become just like the suits.
Yep.
So
I think it's fear. I think it's fear of once you get a position of power is keeping your power. And like I said, it's easy to make a decision to do something just because you think it's good. But that doesn't mean it's going to be successful, right? So when you get in that position of power to okay stuff, you got to believe that it's going to be successful, or because if it ain't, you're gone.
Yeah.
And I think that's the greatest example and reasoning of why it's so hard to get anything done in Hollywood.
Yeah.
There's so much money involved, and someone's job is always on the line.
Sad but true.
Yeah, and I don't know that I'd want to be the guy that had that kind of pressure on me, but I also think that if you're a little bit more judicious and don't make everything has to be a $200 million plus budget film, you can have moderate success with something and still consider it a success because you haven't spent ridiculous amounts of money on it.
Sure.
Although I don't know with special effects and CGI and all that kind of stuff, it's like it's almost impossible to have a movie with that kind of stuff in it that doesn't cost $200 million.
Yeah. I think, a lot of these action movies, they depend too much on that stuff because they've lost the sense of movie magic of, like Star Wars, the original, and also the first Superman. First Superman will make you believe a man could fly, And so they put everything in camera with Christopher Reeves. But now everything went back and reverted to Kirk Allen Superman, to where all of a sudden it turns into a cartoon thing from the live action, you know? And it's just like, what's the point of doing a live action if everything action is a high-end cartoon, you know?
Right.
Be it CG, you know?
Well, that's
So
the thing.
I rather just have a great animated thing instead, just like how Into the Spider-Verse was really good. Or I like a lot of the stop motion animation things that, like
So
Box
do I.
Trolls and all that. I'm like, why don't they do a Spider-Man like that and make it look like Steve Ditko art?
That would be cool.
It'd be hella cool. It'd be probably better than any live action movie you ever saw, because it would be on model, it would look right, and all the lighting would hit properly, and you could just use CG enhancements just to extend backgrounds, or, you know, water effects, or any kind of elemental type thing, you know, but have it be stop motion animation. You know, that's a underused, you know, animation commodity. You know, it's difficult, but it's worth it once you see it.
Yep. No, I totally agree. I'm a big fan of that stuff. And
I thought Hellboy should have been like that, and it could have looked just like Mike Mignola's art.
that would have been cool. Well, they could have done it just in straight, you know, animation, 2D animation, and made it look like Mignola's stuff too. But
Yeah.
stop motion would have been pretty cool.
Very cool.
Been pretty
It's
cool.
like, to me, like Nightmare Before Christmas and all that kind of stuff. It made me instantly think, like, man, Mike Mignola stuff would work in this type of environment and stuff. Like any kind of comic book thing. Like, you could do like original Hulk. It could look like that blocky Kirby thing.
Yeah.
You know, that would be awesome. Awesome.
I just think people get caught up with whatever the latest or newest technology and toy is, and then they can't think beyond that. You know, it's like once you know, the computer guys that Disney bought,
Pixar.
You know, once they kind of did the Toy Story thing and then perfected that, that was like that had to be everybody's animation, right?
Yeah.
But then we get so used to seeing that people are getting sick of it. And so now you start to see this movement for back to regular 2D animation again, you know?
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of cool stuff people, you know, could do if they would think in those terms, you know, but again, you got to be the one that steps out and says, I'm going to be the first one to kind of go back in this direction. And, you know, you're the one taking all the risk and hope that it doesn't bomb. Because even handmade animated films, even stop motion, the man hours involved in those things, they are super expensive to make, just because of, you know, it's not like back in the old days where everybody worked for Disney or Warner Brothers and they were paid a salary and you worked their butts off and they didn't get any extra money for it. Now you're paying guys for the job, you know, and if it's for the man hours involved in the job, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
But you saw that Santa Claus thing, right?
Yeah, that was crazy.
I love that, man.
It was like they made it look 3D and it was 2D.
I know. That's what I think. Somehow he did. You know, he like came up with some new techniques, and that's the great thing, man. They're always pushing technology, and it's, you know, you now you create a way to make something look computer generated, but you do it by hand. Yeah, I think that guy's working on something else. His studio is, and I just can't wait. You know. And other than the guys that do Wallace and Gromit and Shaun the Sheep, and then Leica here in that's owned by Phil Knight, you know, who runs Nike. His son runs an animation studio here in Portland that does, you know, like Paranorman and Coraline and those. You know, then Tim Burton every once in a while will still do a stop motion thing. But other than those are the only guys doing that stuff, that claymation or the stop motion. And even Aardman, they're doing computer generated claymation now. So it looks like claymation, but it's actually computer generated. But I don't think there's anything more time consuming and difficult than stop motion.
Yeah.
But it's so cool when it's done well.
But those guys need to eat too, so they need to find some work or get some work.
Have you seen that? They did kind of a. It's not really claymation. It's more of a stop motion thing because I think they've used some like action figure type things and just sort of redressed them. But somebody on YouTube redid the opening to Johnny Quest, but in stop motion.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Have you seen that? Yeah, look up on YouTube Johnny Quest stop motion. It's really cool. It's the same music and everything. They use the actual same music and they just recreate the whole opening of the cartoon show, but they do it in stop motion.
I'll check that out.
It is next level cool, brother. I'm putting like way too much detail in this. You're going to be done before me.
I don't think so.
Well, hey, when we sell this as a two-piece, I want to get the big bucks. I got to put the detail in. So do you guys have a, I know it may be too early at this stage, but do you got kind of a time frame that you're shooting for Truth, Justice, American Way?
We did, but, that got kind of derailed temporarily. But I'm back on it right now. I'm working on that and finishing Bass Reeves at the same time. So I'm working, people.
Well, on that note, let's take a look at the campaign real quick. I know I got a window open here someplace. There it is. Let's go ahead and refresh here, see if there's any action. Oh, look at that, man. We put on $130 and about, how many backers do we get there? New backers. We're up to 967. So thank you all very much. I know David is great.
Thank you.
Bob Gable throwing money my way. Thank you, Bob, for the $4.99. He says, despite what Art says, of course, he's referring to Taber, do you like Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk? Well, when I was a kid, I did. Because he was jacked and he was like a monster. So it was not to like. Did you like that old show?
It scared me. I had to watch it with my dad, because I couldn't watch it alone.
Well, you're a couple years younger than me too, so I actually thought.
Man, I was 20. What are you talking about?
It's 20 years old. I'd hold my dad's hand.
Like, oh, Daddy.
Here's another shot out of my Wraith of God shot glass. It's just Snapple, folks. I'm a lightweight. Wait a minute.
You're like me.
Account 964 says, David Williams, any relation to Peter Beresford Williams? I asked because I was in some of his painting classes.
Nope.
Nope. Oh, here we go. Randy Howell's keeping track. He says the gap is narrowing. David is ahead 3 backers to my 2. So we picked 5 people have backed during the show. Thank you so much for that, for both of us. Brian Suddenly Old says, I miss practical problem solving on a budget like The Toxic Avenger. You know, some really good films have come out of the fact that, like in Jaws, the shark didn't work, so they had to shoot around it, right? And it became a greater Hitchcockian type film than it would have been had the shark operated the way that Spielberg wanted it to. You know, Star Trek II, the best of the Star Trek films, that was a $13 million budget, you know, and they just used, you know, footage from the first movie and, you know, cheaply redressed the sets, but it's such a great film, you know. So I think then you look at all the Michael Bay films that are just, you know, overblown with special effects and money, and yeah, you get a lot of great special effects, but you know, how good of a movie is it really? How much of this, you know, what kind of a story is there? Is there any characterization, or is it just, you know, loud action all the time? So I think that that happens more often than not. People get caught up in the money and forget about all the other things that make up a good movie. Brian, something
about Michael Bay.
What's that?
I said, don't you ever say a bad word about Michael Bay.
Oh man, you're not defending Michael Bay, are you?
He's awesome. He's awesome.
No.
I actually liked Six Underground and
didn't see it.
Bad Boys movies.
Was that him?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that first one got pretty good reviews. So there you go. But that's, I mean, again, that's not a special effects movie like Transformers or something, right? It's more of a character buddy action.
Yeah, but when you go in to see Transformers, you should expect crazy special effects in those stories, because that's what the cartoon was.
Well, yeah, but I mean, is it too much to ask to, you know, put a little story in there?
Yeah.
Apparently so. Actually, I didn't mind the first one. I thought it was okay.
See? Look at you. You're a Michael Bay lover now.
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah. It don't matter what you're saying. It's just like it's just like a person who is a Democrat who hates Donald Trump, but if he agrees with one thing that he says, now they're Republican. So now you're a Michael Bay lover.
That's right, because I justified one Michael Bay.
One Michael Bay thing. One is like that rule: one drop of black blood makes you black. So now,
well, it is the darker dominant gene, right? So
yeah. You know, that theory just doesn't work, because if you say that, like, look, I got a card carrying, I got that one drop of black blood, and you try to drop the N-bomb somewhere and stuff like that and see how well you fare, and say, hey, but I got that one.
Yeah, that's not going to fly in the. You told me that's not going to fly in the hood, David. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. They said, we don't know who told you that lie. But you ain't black enough to say that.
Oh, Randy Hall says, with Michael Bay, I forget the movie as soon as I leave the theater. Well, yeah. It's kind of like an amusement park ride, right?
It's an amusement park ride, but it's also like Chinese food. You don't get full. You're like, hey, you know, You want to eat something right after, you know.
Yeah,
It's all good.
man, I love Chinese food though.
Yeah.
I used to hate it because my dad would only ever take us to this place that was Cantonese, right? But when I discovered
Mhm.
Szechuan, that's when I fell in love with it.
Is that girl that lives up the street? Oh, girl Szechuan.
No. Oh. No. That's the spicy version, David. The
Yeah.
spicy food version.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. I had a girlfriend prior to Shelley Showtime that turned me on to the Szechuan because I was she's like, you got to try this. And I'm like, I hate Chinese food, you know? And she's like, no, you got to try this. This is different. And that was pretty much it. And I became a huge Chinese Szechuan fan. So. And those Korean barbecues are really good too. If you've ever been to one of those.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dave Olbrich always takes me to one in Anaheim. I can't remember. It's a chain. It's a national chain, but it's really good. We actually have one of those. It's not part of this chain restaurant, but it's a Korean barbecue. Like practically, it's not even a mile from our house. It's around the corner, and sadly, I've only eaten there once. I don't know why. It's like whenever you have you're like located next to something really close. Those are the times you're like, yeah, we'll go later. Yeah, we'll go later.
Yep.
They end up never going.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was so pissed at myself. When we lived in Florida, we lived in the Tampa area, and we were just, I mean, it was probably an hour and a half drive, but just basically right up the coastline to where they filmed Creature from the Black Lagoon. And we never went in the 3 years that I lived there. And I was so pissed at myself. But it was always like, yeah, we'll go next time. Can't do it this weekend, but next weekend, you know. And it was always something came up, and we just never went.
Wow.
Shelley wouldn't have gone anyway because he'd probably got eaten alive by mosquitoes. But Josh and I would have gone. And
she's a mosquito magnet or something.
oh my gosh, we went to Mexico. We were at Puerto Vallarta, and we went on this I don't know, guided tour into the jungle kind of thing. And one of the places we stopped at was this. Well, they had this restaurant. Then they had like this kind of, there was a cliff area, right? That it was probably, I don't know, it's probably 20 feet down, and there was a water hole, and they had this rope, and you could get on the rope, and you'd swing down right into from the top of this cliff down into the swimming hole, you know, and they had these things called water mosquitoes. Right. And Shelley just got eaten alive by them. And when we went to Australia, she got bit so many times she literally was like nauseous and had a fever. And she had so many mosquito bites, you know, from going out in the rainforest. I had none. Of course, wow. I'm a hairy gentleman, so they don't they have a hard time getting at me. But yeah, her and bugs don't get along.
She's so sweet. They gotta get her.
Yep. Well, I think too, women wear perfume and stuff, and I think that sort of attracts bugs to them. And you know, us dudes are like, you know, maybe we remember to put deodorant on, maybe we don't. You know. You know, I was with you. I thought, oh, I'll draw a Clayface. That'll be easy. Judas Priest, man. This is. I mean, I could have made it a lot easier than I did, but. Thing is, I have not been drawing all that much recently. I've been doing all like the signing and bagging and boarding of stuff for the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Brian suddenly old. Aaron is part skunk ape, confirmed.
Oh boy.
You know what the skunk ape is, right?
No. What is that?
It's like a Louisiana swamp Bigfoot. Supposedly. Okay. Lives out in the, like in the Everglades or in the swamp land and down south.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, it just reeks, supposedly. So that's the giveaway. No one's in the area is this foul stench. But I'm thinking there's probably a lot more things in that water that stink than just the legendary skunk ape. But of course, like any other Bigfoot legend, they've never seen one or caught one, but they know they're there.
My cousin Buford saw one. I swear it.
Exactly. The camera wasn't working, but it was right over there.
Hold on, let me ask my sister. Prudence.
Oh man. I wanted Bigfoot to be I wanted so badly for Bigfoot to be real. Huh?
We all did as kids. We were just like, oh.
But
we'd make up lies saying that he did. He said, oh man, we saw him when we went camping.
Well, you figure at this point, if they've actually got a giant squid on camera, which is not the easiest thing in the world to find in the ocean, and they can't find a giant ape man living in the Pacific Northwest, I'm thinking he probably doesn't exist.
Yeah. I'm still holding out hope.
Well, you never know. Actually, I do know. But, Bigfoot is the only legend that was, it isn't, because the Loch Ness Monster is too. But they're both legends were created based on fake films. And they even acknowledge that the films are fake now, and yet they still believe the creature exists. You're like, wait a minute. I remember reading somewhere that the guy that did the Planet of the Apes makeup for the original movie was involved in that that Super 8 film that supposedly captured Bigfoot walking, that famous and I believe it's true. And I think the guy that made the film, I think there's something that on his deathbed he admitted that it was a fake, and it's kind of like, and yet it's kind of like politics. People ignore the truth because they want to believe a lie.
Hey, Aaron, put yours up to the camera.
Okay, hang on a second. Let me. I gotta switch cameras. Well, we still got people hanging in there to see how this turned out. So, give me a second. All right. Okay. So basically, all right, I'm going to have to curve the cape just a little bit, but I think it's going to work. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So it's going to be about like, yeah, I'll just curve it up a little bit and it'll work fine.
That's cool.
Yeah, this is going to look cool. It'll go right together. Love it. Let's see. Hyper Potato says those two fellas can draw. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Aaron, have you seen Pete's new book, King Cryptid? I haven't. I know that Brian Suddenly Old is, he reads a lot of Pete Samedi's books, Alterna comics. So that's one of those things he's referring to. Green Laser says Bigfoots are naturally blurry. Well, you saw the Harry and the Hendersons, right? Yeah. I loved how they kind of explained how the Bigfoots sort of were, you couldn't find them because they would they had this camouflage. They'd go right into the trees and you couldn't see them anymore. Oh, no. I thought that was kind of clever. And some nice Rick Baker makeup there too on that.
Super good.
Look at Sequential Treasures. He's upset. He says this seems less an art competition and more of an art collaboration. It's true, but you can still vote on which piece you like better, you know. So, and actually, David finished his, and I'm not done with my Clayface yet. So I guess by default, David, by virtue of the fact that you're actually done, I guess you get the victory, but it's got to feel hollow. It's got to feel hollow.
I'll take them wherever I could get them.
This is going to be cool. When I get that cape matched up, this is going to be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll keep it. No, I won't do that to you.
Yeah.
We'll get a little money in it for you. But here, hold it up again. Yep, wait a minute. Yep, there we go. Everything's backwards. Drives me nuts. Yeah, so that's going to be cool, man. That's going to be cool. Oh, yeah, I need to go in a little bit closer. Go this way. Go this way. There we go. See, I'm going to pull that cape up a little bit, but it'll work fine.
Yeah.
Oh, this will be cool. Digging it. Yeah, and I'll be able to match it up when you send that to me, dude. Yeah. Did I send you my address?
I think you did.
Okay, well,
send it again just in case.
All right, well, ship it to me with that card art, and I'll put this thing together, and we'll do like a special auction thing. It'll be fun. All right.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Well, look at, man, it's almost 8:00. We really went tonight.
Yeah, we did.
3 hours. Wow, that's like Ethan Van Sciver territory for me, man. I usually try and get out after an hour and a half, but anyway, thanks for everybody in the chat for joining us. It's been a great fun, as it always is. Thank you for backing both my project and David's Truth, Justice, American Way. The links for both campaigns are in the description of this video. So if you're watching this after the fact, make sure you check those out. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. That always helps the channel out. And there you have it. David, thank you so much for taking the time to join me. It's good to have you back on camera and doing some artwork. We weren't quite as salty this time as we generally are when we have competitive drawing, because we actually work together to form a piece, which I think is ultimately cooler. So we'll put the whole thing together. Right. Cool. So
it's cooler when Superman and Batman are friends.
That's right. And of course, Mike Millard coming in at the last possible second to say, "Oh, okay, bye." Well, dude, we've been here for 3 hours. Where have you been? Jeez. Oh, exactly. Julie Pascal says cooperative drawing, not competitive. Cooperative drawing. There you go. I like it. Let me see anything else here before we. There you go. An add-on for the Wraith 2 campaign. Oh, I'm going to have plenty of add-ons. You can bet that. Watch out when shipping to Aaron. Oh, he sent me something and it just got abused and got lost, and then finally ended up but it wasn't my fault. Yeah. So, I'm completely, it has nothing to do with me, man. So anyway, everybody, thank you so much. What is it? Sunday night. Enjoy the holiday tomorrow. Let's remember our veterans for the sacrifices they made for our freedoms that we enjoy in this country, and let's not take them for granted. And enjoy the rest of your week, and you'll see me popping up, and hopefully we'll see more of David Williams on the tube as well. So anyway, thanks everybody, and good night.